Oh, so what are you doing?
Not much. I was planning on getting food, but then I felt sick, so I'm like,
So I guess you're not
nah.
getting food anymore.
Yeah,
Guess
and
you're
then
gonna
I was
sit
like,
there and starve. So I guess you're not
nah.
getting food anymore.
And then I looked at my stuff, and I'm like, right, I don't want to slam my face into a wall, so I'm just gonna go on my computer.
Why would you want to slam your face into a wall?
Because my room makes me cry.
Oh my god. Just
I
pick up
do.
something. Look at the floor. Do you see a thing? Pick it up.
Hey, look, my journal from Gravity Falls.
You have successfully picked something up.
Yes.
Brilliant work.
And I will use it to summon Bill Cipher.
Why would you want to do that?
Backwards message, backwards message, backwards message,
Why are
backwards
you...
message, backwards message.
There's no... Stop it. Your words and phrases mean little in the grand scheme of things. Hello, Alex the Gaming. What is the gaming? Alex the Gaming. He is pure, unadulterated, unfiltered, uncompromising gaming. Just like Kane the Oblivion. And Teddy the Spot. And Super the Duck.
Yes.
And Addie the Token Girl.
And Oblivion the Cane.
No, I already said Kane the Oblivion. Oblivion the Cane sounds stupid. Sounds like you're literally like a walking stick. Someone declined the ready check, Kane. I'm deeply offended.
No.
There we go. Someone accepted it now. As it should be. You must always be prepared. What? What? What'd you do? What'd you break?
So, I visit a .hack forum, just like that discusses all the games and stuff, and the forum's been down for like 2 weeks now, and it's really frustrating.
Shame.
Yeah.
Well, tell them to fix it. How can
Yeah,
you talk about nerdy stuff like .hack if they're not gonna fix it? Playing League
Yeah,
of
how can I
Legends.
talk about the Japanese exclusive .hack fragment on PS2, the only online .hack experience to exist?
Yeah. You have to get good at the game, though. This is straight up competitive. This is the real stuff. Yeah, I know. I'm just warning you. You would need to play a lot of League to get good at League. I know he is. That's fine. He'll fall asleep eventually. Maybe we can play something else, though. Like FF14. That's less. My girlfriend's like, maybe when I get a good computer I can play League with you. And I'm like,
Are
oh
you
no.
playing FF14?
I'm not playing FF14. I'm playing League. What? I do.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
just
I
not hungry.
knew you were playing League at the moment.
Oh, there's no calm. There is only intense. Right, Kane? Things are pretty intense around here. I don't know who didn't warn her about how intense we can get. This
Yeah,
sheer...
we're gonna go camping.
Go... Oh my...
You're welcome.
Hmm? Give me your phone. I'll log you back in. girlfriend's like, can I get into your Hulu so I can watch Family Guy? I did no such thing! Ta-da. I know, we have to watch it. We'll watch it when he's gone. We'll be fine, it'll be there. It's not going anywhere. I see that. Hi, Joe Boss 7000. So the real question is, Joe Boss a dude named Joe who's a boss, or is he Joe Boss 7000? What do you think, Kane? I know he is. It's fine. Kane, are you there? Kane!
Yes?
Oh, you've been quiet this whole time.
Hi.
Why aren't you talking?
Wait, what?
You didn't hear me?
I have been talking.
I haven't heard.
I
haven't heard a
talking.
single word you said until just now.
It moved, Discord.
Oh, he's a guy named Joe who likes to think he's a boss. That reveals it.
Gotcha.
I had to make sure. You never know. He could have been. You could have been Joe Boss, as in Kane's boss, the boss of Kane.
Yes.
The boss specifically hired to boss around Kane. Kane's boss.
Of course.
That boss.
I have no joke for this.
That's because I already made a joke. There's no follow-up for my jokes.
How could you?
My jokes are infinite. That's right. Oh, hi, Anivia. How are you? I'm gonna kick your ass.
Bless you. You're welcome.
Oh?
Hello! Kane?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Here.
You're here. What's wrong?
I'll be back. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Jesus.
Hello again.
Hello!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me be more accurate. Hello there.
Ah. Watching too much Star Wars. Ah! General Kenobi!
My favorite one is the three guys who are like in a Target, and they picked up like the really cheap $5 space swords, and this one guy just walks around the corner, and it plays the hello there, and it pans over to the two guys like climbed up on top of each other with the sword in their hand. General Kenobi, and they spin him around. I'll have to send it to you. It's pretty great. But yeah, I'm about to get to the gout. which will be interesting. I haven't actually watched the original 77 cut. I think it's kind of funny because the more I think about it, I actually am not sure if I've ever actually watched the special editions of 4, 5, and 6.
I did. I watched both.
Yeah, it's mostly because I stopped watching Star Wars immediately. I watched them back in the day, and I've still got 2 VHS original versions of the first 3 movies, or 4, 5, and 6, I should say. So those are the ones that I remember watching, and I do not believe I've actually watched the special editions of 4, 5, and 6, because... And even if I did, I was so young, I don't remember.
This is the way they were intended. Okay.
Technically speaking, true. Also, they're not that great.
I don't think the special editions really ruin anything except for Han in the bar.
I think the worst part...
Han shot
worst
first.
part-
Okay.
Huh?
Han shot first.
Mhm.
Like, it was just... that was a really dumb change. Anything else is just, like, whatever. Like, I don't really care about any of that. But that's the one thing... Like, that was a story change, pretty much. And it's like... It's dumb. Okay? It's just dumb.
There were a few other changes that I definitely disagree with. There's a lot that I disagree with on that.
I didn't want him to be a cold-blooded murderer. I don't know. Greedo seems like a jerk. He kind of asked for it.
The issue that I take with the special editions is not that they exist. It's the fact that George has, especially back then, did absolutely nothing. Absolute zero to preserve the original cuts.
No, because he wanted them that way.
Yeah, and how'd that work out for you, George?
I mean, he's a billionaire. I think he's fine.
Yeah, but how did that work in terms of your fan base?
It's funny. Ever since the sequel series, everyone's been begging for George to come back.
Which is funny, which is really funny, and I get that. Here's the thing. My issue is less that the special editions are a thing, and more that the fact that he is overshadowing the original cuts, which do view pretty drastically differently in a lot of ways. We are not allowed, like, okay, when they released Mass Effect Legendary Edition, they did not pull the original version of Mass Effect 2 and 3 from Steam or Origin.
True.
They left those for people to buy them if they wanted them. But you cannot do that anymore at all with the original Star Wars cuts.
It's also kind of humorous because in that instance, at least with the original Mass Effect, the Legendary version is far and away superior because they just fixed a lot of quality of life issues with the original game.
Yeah.
But I get your point that when George did it, he didn't, he decided these are the superior versions, these are the versions you're going to be allowed to get, and it's like, but why not both? Like, I don't mind a special edition. What I mind is the original suddenly not existing.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's worse for me is that there's 2 ways that this went down. Either he was butthurt about people liking the original 77 cut and just refused, or it's damaged beyond repair, in which case, hate to break it to you, George, probably still your fault in that regard.
Well, to be fair, Disney, one of the first things they did when they got a hold of the license was re-release the original cuts.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
When?
It was like right after the acquisition. It was like the first. I swear it was the first thing they did. I remember reading about it.
Because I know that they did the big collection. They did the big like the big Blu-ray collection that I got. Disney has not made any moves to release the unaltered cuts of the original Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, maybe that was just a lie that I read. Excellent. I enjoy that about the internet.
Yeah, because like the issue with re-releasing the original Star Wars cuts is that I don't know if Disney owns the rights to actually publish the original cuts. I don't know how different it is, but I've heard that could be something that's
they own the rights to the whole franchise. I don't know why.
To be fair, listen, I'll just be real about this one. Licensing is terrible, and I despise it. Every time I hear about it, I want to smack the term licensing so hard across the face.
I mean, I don't mind the fact that people own what they create.
Yeah, that's great. That's fine. But can we please stop making it a Minotaur's Maze level of BS to actually get things done?
Oh, there is a lot of legal bureaucracy surrounding it.
Yeah, I know, because it's garbage. 0 out of 10. Y'all frickin' wonder why everyone pirates so much. This is why. But yeah, like in terms of the original trilogy, the only way you can get the original trilogy, and the only kind of sort of decent quality you can get it in, is in the limited edition releases of the 2004 DVD special editions that came with a bonus disc that had that on there. Which is what I'm currently hunting down, because I own A New Hope with the Gout. It's called the Gout, George's Original Uncut Trilogy, G-O-U-T.
They call it the Gout.
That is what the fandom refers it as.
Gout is an ancient disease from eating too much meat. What?
I did not create the term.
Sorry, that's what we're going with. We're gonna call it the Gout. Okay.
I did not make the term. I just go with it because most fans know what I'm talking about. So like, the only way you can get that is from an old DVD release that you can only get secondhand.
Right.
Which sucks on so many levels, because, can I just be brutally honest with all you people? Y'all know that Blu-rays can hold 50 gigabytes, right? Don't you dare tell me that you cannot fit the original cut on a Blu-ray disc.
I don't know. There's a lot of data there.
That's... Okay, do you remember...
I mean, they didn't even fit on Betamax. Or Laserdisc.
It actually was released on Laserdisc.
I bet it was.
It is actually the highest quality version of the Gout that you can watch that isn't on the DVD limited edition. And the worst part about it is that the DVD special edition is actually it's a poor quality transfer of the Laserdisc version. So it's not even like a proper, I think the term was like anamorphic. It wasn't a proper anamorphic format, so you couldn't even properly format the video. You were just stuck with what you got.
Laserdisc failed really hard. It's a shame, because I like the giant disc element of it.
It was like a record, but for CDs.
Exactly. It was just like, we're gonna sell the largest CDs possible. Why? Because it's really high quality. Oh, that is a fairly solid reason. Because it wasn't like Laserdisc was necessarily a bad format. It's just almost kind of inconvenient with how large they were.
You know what? I do think it's a bad format, but it's not because of the format itself.
Why? I'm curious as to your opinion.
Alright. So.
Well, as Christian points out, it was expensive, so that's probably part of the problem.
That too. So, records, they were about the size of a record. So
yes.
We're gonna go with that. So let's compare records to Laserdisc. Records was primarily used for music, for one. It was only used for music. But the bigger thing about records is that we all really knew how to handle them.
They've been around for ever, and they were also the only option for a long time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they had a competitor. Like, how else did you record music? You just didn't.
Now, the thing about Laserdisc is that it is a compact CD, gigantic. And those things were already easy to scratch. How about maybe not releasing films and stuff like that on expensive discs that are probably ridiculously easy to not only scratch, but break? No thank you.
Yeah, that was something that was always a concern of mine. Like, I can't... Like, how easy would that be to just bump it on something? It's like a damn pizza. Except one that scratches. And then ruins the whole film.
Yeah. Exactly. And then you have to replace it. And I'm like, okay, like, a DVD can be expensive, but it's so much easier to handle and keep and take care of. Especially... Hello.
I'm so sorry for interrupting, but I want you to know that I opened the stream and all I hear is it's so hard to bump it on. It's like a pizza. I am very confused.
We're talking about Laserdisc while I'm trying to deal with this game where the rest of my team merely exists and I am just doing my best, and the Anivia's competent and she keeps getting ganked. Well, I keep getting ganked rather. And I don't I think my Diana has been there once. And didn't actually do anything. She just kind of walked through. And I was like, oh, thank you. Bye. That's true. Records weren't just used for music. They were also used for, like, audio recordings. For, like, reading books or even, like, radio plays and stuff like that. It wasn't just music. But anything audio-based was on a record at some point.
Yeah.
But again, that was the only option. Like, there's a reason why records became old hat the minute cassettes became a thing.
Records are still great. I like them.
They got a resurgence because of hipsters.
Hey!
Hipsters!
I don't judge you.
I'm just saying! I got a resurgence because of that old analog movement. And to be fair, you know, records don't have disc rot. That's not a thing you have to worry about with them. So there are still some advantages over digital media when you compare stuff to like records or even tapes.
I really like I only have a couple of them so far. I'm different from a lot of people. I know a lot of people who will just get any record that seems like it's in good quality because they want to like have a huge collection. I specifically only really get records of like albums and songs that I personally really like. So my collection's rather small.
I just listen to Spotify.
My collection is also worth like $500.
I just listen to Spotify like a normal person.
Well, a lot of these vinyls I've gotten cheap or free, and they just happen to go for a high price. Like all the BTS vinyls that I have are like limited edition.
Well, most vinyls are released in a limited manner because like there's only there's a market for it, but it's a very small market.
Yeah, it's like I get them for like $7 each major release, and they resell usually for like $90 to $100 after the limited run is over, and I own like 4 of them, so that's already a couple $100. And then I have I've been hunting for Halsey's vinyl. I'm really upset that they didn't include one of her songs on it, though, which is the one that I really wanted to hear on vinyl.
Vinyl only has so much space to work with.
I think they cut it for, like, licensing fees, because it's a collaboration with a BTS member, and I think they didn't have probably the licensing to put it on a vinyl.
Oh, no. Now we're back to licensing. Run, Kane!
Oh,
His fury, it rages! We already went over this! Because the conversation started because we were talking about Star Wars and him not being able to get the original cuts easily. Ah! Yes. Huh? Oh, that was cool. Happens sometimes. Occasionally people decide they like me, but usually not.
Come on, Josh. We like you.
Do you? I'm not so sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Me dropping stuff.
Listen, Josh. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't be here.
You don't have to put it that way. Calm down, Kane.
Am I being edgy correctly?
No, you're being an idiot. Anytime you
Yeah.
want to stop, that'd be great.
Oh God. But yeah, I completely and like especially with Laserdisc's failure, was CD out at that point?
For movies?
Not necessarily for movies, but like, was compact discs were they around?
I mean, Laserdisc and compact discs are kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with probably.
Yeah.
What era was Laserdisc in?
Let's see. Laserdisc release date 2022. I'm kidding. 1978.
Yeah, next we'll see a resurgence of Laserdiscs. Hipsters will be out of control at that point. It's like, I want everything on Laserdisc. Like, why? Why would you ever want that? For what frickin' purpose would you ever seek that?
Laserdisc came out 1978. Compact disc came out in 1982.
So they didn't. So in actuality, Laserdisc got downscaled, is what it was.
Yep. And now for DVDs. DVDs were 1997.
God, I remember DVDs. I remember being. My parents couldn't afford a DVD player, so I was still on VHS for as long as conceivably possible. But I actually, every time I went to a friend's house and he had a DVD. First of all, I was mystified by the notion of DVDs, and
Yep.
then I decided that I hated them very quickly because
Oh?
DVDs saw fit to
What?
add menus,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why doesn't it just start the damn movie? Like it seems so silly to me because it was like, oh, hold on, I gotta hit play. Like, why? Like, whenever I watch a VHS, I just put it in. Yeah, but you don't need to rewind it. Yeah, but you have to go back through the menu. It seems woefully unnecessary. Now, in fairness, it got to the point where a lot of DVDs had like extra bonus features and like deleted scenes, and that was cool. Like that part, that edition I liked. So the menu had a point, but there were a lot of DVDs that did nothing with their menu. And then there was one DVD, one single solitary DVD that Emma and I both were in concurrence on, in that we despised it.
Oh no.
So Toho released Destroy All Monsters, which is considered a Godzilla movie, but the whole point is that there's like a ton of monsters in it. Like their whole like rogues gallery of monsters is in that movie.
Yeah.
There was, barring a handful of exceptions. But it's very Showa era, very cheesy by today's standards, but like one of the best because of all the monsters that were in it. You know, obviously Godzilla was there, big draw. But anywho, when they released it on DVD, they saw fit to not add a menu, and that sounds good. Problem. They also did not add any chapters.
Oh no.
In any way.
That's
So
disgusting.
if you, first of all, whenever you put it in, it just plays like a VHS, which that part is fine. What isn't fine is that in order to get through, if you want to skip around or even fast forward, it takes 75,000 years because DVDs aren't set up for fast forwarding. You know, you have to hold down the button and just skip forward until it's there. And if, God help you, you're in the middle of watching it and you bump the skip back option, like the previous chapter button, like many DVDs have on the remote, it's just a button, the entire movie will restart.
Beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it is a horrid. Now, quality-wise, it's fine. The picture's fine. It's, you know, the movie's all there. Nothing inherently wrong with it in terms of the movie being there. But my God, it is I accidentally bumped that button more than one time. I can tell you that.
Yep.
And every time I just wanted to scream. Because
Yeah.
it's just like, if I bump the rewind button on a VHS, it just rewinds a few seconds, I hit play again, it's fine. But if you release a DVD with no chapters, there's that's a major problem.
Yeah.
And I believe to date, I'm not sure, I have to double check, but when I was talking about it years ago, there still is not a modern Blu-ray release of Destroy All Monsters. So that's still that was still, as of the last time I talked about, which was a few years back, the only way to watch it.
You could literally put that into iMovie and make chapters.
Oh, I know!
I've done that. Not with, like, a movie, but...
But yeah, it was terrible. Terrible. And what killed me about it was, none of the other Godzilla movies that were released on DVD were like that. Every other one was set up with a menu and chapters. Some even had deleted bonus content, which was really awesome. That was the one they were like, just throw it out there. And it's like, why? This is one of the classics. Like if you ask an old school Showa fan what movie they'd recommend, in the top 5 would be Destroy All Monsters. Because, you know, it's got all the freaking monsters in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, so why would you skimp on that of all things? Freaking Godzilla's Revenge, which is one of the worst of that era, not only was included in a 5 DVD box set, which I own, unfortunately, but it had chapters and bonus content, and mind you, that movie is one where Godzilla's son appears to a kidnapped child and talks to him like he's Barney. I am not making any of this up.
Now I'm just imagining... Please tell me that someone has taken a clip from that movie and edited in Barney dialogue or the I love you, you love me song.
They might as well, because they literally sound exactly alike in the American dubbing.
That's amazing.
And it's not like it's that different in Japanese. I think the Japanese went for a higher pitched voice. But either way, it's ridiculous. It's a very, very, very poor movie. Because to me it's misleading, because it's called Godzilla's Revenge. It is not really about that at all. It's teaching a child how to stand up for himself, and by that I mean he outsmarts kidnappers, which is oddly serious, and then beats up his bully, which is a very dated lesson in my mind.
Stand up for yourself, and make sure to not let the bullies get the best of you.
I tried beating up my bullies. You know what happened? I got in trouble, and they didn't. It's great.
For you see, you must learn to stand up for yourself, and punch your bully in the face.
That's
very
actually
good
what
lesson.
happened.
I've punched bullies in the face. Do you want to know what happened?
You got in trouble. Yeah, exactly. Like I just said. That's right. That's how that works. If you shout
would
back,
get in trouble
if you make a
after.
scene, if you hit them back, you're the bad guy. Even though
I hate that so much.
that's the rule. Do I like Godzilla vs Kong? Which one? The Showa one, or you talking about the recent one? I like the recent one quite a bit. I thought it wasn't perfect, but it was definitely entertaining. I thought there was too much going on in some parts. Like they couldn't like there was just too. It was kind of an over-designed plot. They needed to kind of narrow the focus a bit, I felt, in terms of the humans. because there was two different human stories, and it's like, why are there two? It just gets it just got a little confusing. But outside of that, I mean, the effects were awesome. The the fight was good. Everything. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I thought it was good. I'm glad that they recently announced that they're going to continue the Legendary universe. That they haven't decided what they haven't told us what they're doing exactly. But it was a good watch. I think King of the Monsters was a lot better as a film, as was the first. I think that versus Kong is probably the weakest, but that's kind of that's a high bar. So it's like this is the weakest of these movies. Like, yeah, but all of them are good. So what are we trying to say with that statement?
By the way, Josh, on an unrelated side note, but I just want to say that having finished Episode 3 of Star Wars, I am so happy. And I know it doesn't mean anything considering the end of the movie, but it just made me happy that Obi-Wan was actually treating Anakin with some modicum of respect and giving like actual compliments and finally acknowledging his skills.
Well, he was out of his apprentice phase. Like, in Episode 2, they were still master pupils, so he was still trying to teach him to hold himself back a little bit.
I agree. I still think he was too hard on him.
I don't know. Part of that, he might have not been hard enough, because Anakin kind of got... The whole point of the series that Anakin kind of got out of control.
I don't think that was Anakin's fault.
Well, no, I mean, part of it was Sidious's machinations.
I also blame the Jedi.
The Jedi are at least partially to blame for what happened. Not wholly,
Yeah.
but at least partially. I mean...
Emotions make you weak. They will destroy you. They are the dark side. I don't think you people know how emotions work, actually. I think maybe you all should probably see some therapists.
The whole issue is that their whole ideal is that emotions can cause people to act without logic, and if they act on feelings, that can be very dangerous. Which is kind of which to be fair was Anakin's fault. He loved Padme, and Sidious tricked him into thinking that she would die if he didn't do what there was nothing he could do. In all actuality, the only reason she died is because Anakin fell to the dark side.
The big issue for me is that I don't think that would have happened if the Jedi. If I don't know if I talked to you about this in DM, but the day I watched Attack of the Clones, watching the sand scene with his mom, I was absolutely enraged because I'm just sitting here like, considering all of the people who can tap into the Force, who is sitting in that freaking room, and have felt emotions and everything, are taking the knowledge of these dreams of a woman being tortured. Do not take that seriously and go check. I just think is ridiculous.
It was kind of silly. Episode 2 is weak in a lot of ways, to be fair.
I don't even think that was a weakness on Episode 2. I just think that was there to show the Jedi's incompetence.
The Jedi aren't perfect, which is kind of, part of the lesson is that the Jedi, obviously the dark side is bad, but the Jedi, there's no perfect solution. The Jedi were based off of old religious dogma surrounding the Force. And they wanted people to control these insane abilities to the best, in the best way they knew, and the only way they thought was logical was therefore restriction. Whereas the dark side is out of control, and on one hand, they're, in theory they could be more powerful, but they're out of control.
I think the biggest thing that bothered me about Episode 2 with the way that they handled that is because it's a situation where, again, like, I understand acting on emotions can lead to bad things. That's true. The problem is that I feel like the basic human condition would immediately help you understand that understanding your emotions leads to a better result because you know how to deal with them. Not knowing how to deal with emotions and just locking them away is...
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. In the Star Wars universe, I believe that especially the Jedi probably need to modernize their mental health routines.
It's the Jedi.
Well, the Sith don't seem to care about that at all. I don't expect them to do that. Sidious's whole thing is taking advantage of people and utilizing their emotional weaknesses. That's his whole shtick.
Yeah.
Anakin was vulnerable because of his love for Padme.
It wasn't even just Padme. It was.
Wait, Josh, let me play with you.
Oh, now she wants to play.
What do you think I came in here for?
To chill?
Actually, she
Yes,
wanted
chill and play.
Addie. My girlfriend's like, who are you talking to? Is that a girl? Who is that?
Hi.
Do I know her? Just teasing, hon. Love you too.
Yeah, like it's just funny watching these movies as an adult because I never realized how poorly Anakin.
Boy, howdy. I do wish that Addie would choose her roles, because otherwise this fine. There you go. Anyway, go on, Teen. Sorry.
It's just funny watching these movies as an adult because it was a combination of me being too young at the time to understand what was happening in those movies, as well as just me being an idiot and being like, "Where's my laser swords?" But watching them as an adult, I'm like, "Wow, Anakin, you need therapy." And the Jedi are really dumb. Like okay. The biggest thing that bothers me from Attack of the Clones in terms of that display with Anakin's nightmares, right, is that it's not just a display of bad writing per se, because I don't necessarily think that's what happened here. The problem that I take is that all of these people involved in this Jedi Council are able to feel emotions and everything through the Force. And they are talking with this person who is supposedly the chosen one, who is incredibly in tune with the Force, who is having nightmares about his mother being tortured and in absolute pain. And all they can say to him is suck it up?
I believe a big component of it is that there's some level of fear among the council when it comes to Anakin.
Fear of what?
Because of his level of Anakin, in terms of his attunement with the Force, is the most powerful, Force user ever. Mm-hmm. They didn't even want to train him.
Yeah.
It was Qui-Gon who was like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And after Qui-Gon died, Yoda was like, okay. Obi-Wan was like, Qui-Gon told me to do it. And Yoda was like, I don't think you should. And Obi-Wan's like, I'm gonna do it. And Yoda's like, fine, you're an idiot. I just agree with you, the council does.
I find it ironic too, and that especially just learning about some not even extended universe stuff, but knowing about Yoda's backstory, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
And like, my whole thing, honestly, like this, like when it comes to the Jedi being incompetent, my whole thing is like, Order 66. Okay, let's take that new account, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get that the clone troopers turned on them, and that was a surprise.
Yes.
Also, Why was it a surprise? Because can't you see things before they happen? That's like your whole shtick as Jedi.
Yoda died.
Did none of you? Like, it was just Yoda and Obi-Wan. You know, and when it comes to the movies, there were a few other stragglers. But for the most part, they were all like, what? I can't believe this is happening. Like, okay, so deflect their lasers. That's also a thing. Oh, you know, you're dead.
Obi-Wan did not see it coming. His mount got shot and he fell into water and he...
That's right, Obi-Wan got lucky.
Yeah, he got lucky. And for some of the other ones, they actually did deflect a lot of bolts, but they were just outnumbered and they were basically... A lot of them were shot from behind.
That's true.
Actually, like...
But I guess my argument is, like, did you not sense that this might occur? At no point was it something that, like, you're Jedi. That's your whole thing, is seeing this kind of stuff happening.
You were, and to go back to something for a second, Josh, they fear Anakin, right? So, their answer to this person that they fear, mentally abuse him.
They don't see it that way. In their heads, this is guiding him towards the... It's almost a take on, like, modern religious dogma when it comes to organized religion, where, you know, they genuinely think they're helping, when in reality they're denying someone's mental faculties and causing them undue stress, which leads to more problems, not solutions. It's a weakness in the Jedi Order. And I think that was kind of the point, that the Jedi aren't perfect.
Yeah.
You know, they're innately good guys, of course. They want to do good. But, you know, over the years, I mean, they've existed for thousands of years. Of course, by this point, they would become misguided to a certain degree. Or perhaps ignorant of what's really going on. I mean, in Episode 1, they didn't even believe Qui-Gon that it was that a Sith existed. The only one who thought that might be the case was Yoda. Because Yoda was old enough to be like, hard to see the dark side is. But all the others were like, no, they can't be alive. Psh, we stabbed them millennia ago. Like,
Lots of
it just,
stabbing.
are you sure? Like,
You see, it wasn't even just normal stabbing. It was laser stabbing. It was very effective.
yeah, and to be fair, they were dealing with someone like Sidious, and Sidious is cold and calculating and working in the background. He is very much, this world is imperfect.
He was very insidious in the way that he...
Yeah, right?
Friends.
If only I could wipe away the impurities. Is anyone else listening to this? And make it as beautiful as me.
Also, I just want
Senator Palpatine, you were behind all this! I am the Senate!
As a side note too, it didn't strike me as a kid, but the Count Dooku death scene, the surprise and fear on his face, I never noticed it.
I know! Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Dooku was played by frickin' Christopher Lee.
Yes.
Phenomenal actor in everything he's in. Even when he's in bad movies, he is top tier.
Excellent.
And yes, he handled that scene just like the pro he is, because when you see Sidious being like, no, kill him, Dooku's like, oh my shit, I have made a terrible mistake. It's like, yeah, you did have!
I've fallen to an insidious plot.
Yeah, right? Because he realized he's about to be replaced.
Yep.
You know, because Sidious is always looking for whatever he can use to advance himself.
Yes.
That's Sidious's whole thing.
Yeah.
He is the Sith of Siths. I mean, that dude.
He might as well be called Darth Sithius.
Josh, you were saying yesterday, like, I never get support.
And here you are.
I guess you could say that doesn't support the argument. Don't worry, the game's just being supportive.
I do appreciate how. Okay, so I liked episode 1 when no one else did, right?
I also liked episode 1 when no one else did.
And, all the old school fans were complaining about it, and they still do, because they're angry old men. But now that the prequels are out, suddenly the people like me who saw episode 1 and the sequels are out, suddenly people like me that saw the prequels in theaters when we were younger are like, oh man, I missed the prequels. And the older fans are like, no, you can't say good things about them, these are just even worse. And it's like, or maybe in about 20 years' time, when there's even more Star Wars movies, we're going to get a whole new generation saying the sequels were better than whatever's coming out now, because it seems to be the rule with Star Wars. When something comes out, everyone hates it, and it takes about a decade or so for people to grow up and be like, no, I saw it as a kid and I loved it. Because I will tell you one thing. I did not like Episode 9 very much. From a narrative perspective, it really didn't make much sense, I felt. The action beats were good, but it wasn't as bad as everyone says, but it also wasn't very good. That being said, I took my son to see it. I took Jack to see it. He thought it was great. Because he is 9!
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, these movies are designed to entertain, kids who like the pew-pew laser sword,
Like
the narratives...
So what?
Exactly, me too! So, I am predicting as of now that in about 10, 15 years or so, when Disney or whoever decides to make even more Star Wars movie, episode 10, whatever, who knows what they decide to do, that people are going to hate it. And then be like, yeah, the sequels were actually really good if you think about it. And then they'll start overanalyzing those plot narratives. And it's going to be... It's going to rinse and repeat. It's going to be the same thing all over again.
I think the frustrating part about it, though, is that I do ultimately think, in terms of a plot narrative structure, I do think that the sequel movies are inferior to the rest of the movies.
Oh, I agree. There were many decisions that were made that I do not agree with. There are many things that occurred that I'm like, what? There were many things that just kind of came out of the blue that I can believe being a thing, because people were like, oh, since when can the Force heal people? Since forever, actually. That's not new. What I thought was weird was that they made it a point in episode 9 to... This is spoilers, by the way, so click away now. I'll give you, 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, all the real blood-related Skywalkers are dead by the end of 9, which is a bizarre choice to me. Because now it's only the offspring of a clone of Sidious. And I don't dislike Rey, but I'm like, why did we have to kill off Ben as well? Like, he got his redemption and then he died. Why did we do that? Like, why... What? And they also go with the the attraction between him and Rey. But my problem with that is, hey, I thought we already established that, like, there's a reason why Luke didn't take a wife in this canon. It's not a Jedi thing to do that. How did we get into this mess?
Yeah.
Like, it's just it seems to defy the logic established by the series. And they kind of threw...
By the way.
What happened, by the way?
They invaded Blue Buff, and for some reason our Jinx was at Blue Buff, even though they weren't leashing Bot. And so they died.
Cool. Is she mad?
She said, what the fuck?
Oh, okay.
Presumably because I wasn't there, but I was like, why the fuck are we in jungle if we're not leashing?
And I could see guarding the entrances, but that's not where she was.
And she was literally at Blue Buff, and I was like, especially listen, if they're gonna invade and we're the only ones down here, why would you sit at the buff?
And they also kind of gave the shaft to a lot of the other supporting characters in the new series, and focusing more and more on Rey, which, again, I don't dislike Rey. I actually quite like her. What I dislike is you didn't have to omit all the other characters too. Like, Luke's the main character of the original series, but Han and Leia get plenty of scenes too. But
Yeah.
like they completely omitted, what's his name's character, whose name I can't even remember right now. Former stormtrooper.
Oh God, yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, see that's how inconsequential he became. Everyone complained about that poor Asian girl, and I felt really bad for her because I didn't think she was a bad character at all.
I'll leave it at that. I've seen the movies.
I can understand why Leia didn't get that many scenes in Episode 9 because of, God rest her soul.
Yeah.
They only had extra footage from Episode 8 to work with, so I totally get that. But then, I just feel like Luke should have had a more prominent role. Like, the whole point, I thought, of the sequel series was to see what the original cast was doing. And they seem to be like, no, we're going to focus on these new cool characters. Like, but we want to see, like, it's like doing the prequels without addressing Obi-Wan and Anakin,
Yeah.
Like, your core characters are there. Like, and the prequels did that right. It was focused on Obi-Wan and Anakin. Which is what we actually wanted out of the sequels. I mean, say what you will about them, they focused on the right characters.
Yeah.
The sequels just don't seem to do that because, like, the original cast is just. I got what happened to Han Solo as making sense because Harrison Ford didn't want to do that role.
Yeah.
He literally only took it if they promised to kill him off.
Yep.
So I understand that, but Mark Hamill, he was afraid to do the role again, but he was on board when they asked him to.
Yeah. My ultimate issue with the sequel trilogy is just that. They're sequels. I just don't think sequels were necessary. If you wanted to make new Star Wars movies, go for it. Make your own story in the universe. Do something new. You don't have to continue the Skywalker saga.
Like The Mandalorian.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, crap. That's a really good thing for that. Freaking everyone loves The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That is like one of the most successful Star Wars stories in recent memory.
In the defense of the Obi-Wan series, everyone was asking for that one. Like, people genuinely wanted that.
Yep.
So okay. But, like, then there's, like, well, what about a Han Solo prequel movie? What about not doing that? Because literally nobody asked for this. Did anyone ask for this? Did anyone genuinely want that movie? Because I don't think they did.
Game.
Also, Addy, what the heck is going on in this game?
I kid, but yeah, like, I don't know, it's just like, I get it, I know everyone knows about Star Wars because of the Skywalker saga for episodes 1 through 6, and that's fine, but other Star Wars stories have been very successful.
What?
Jedi Fallen Order is one of the best well-doing current Star Wars games. You've got Jedi Survivor coming out. What was the other thing that was really... Old Republic is still going well.
Oh yeah! They just released new stuff for it.
Why don't you just have BioWare make you a story and then you adapt that?
Say what you will about BioWare lately, their stories are usually still okay.
Yeah. Generally speaking, their storytelling is the least thing I take issue with.
I mean, honestly, now I'm second guessing myself on saying that. I'm like, wait a minute, no. There was that. There was that. There was that. Their stories haven't been perfect either.
They haven't been perfect, but like in terms of telling like a complete narrative, like Mass Effect 1 to 2 was a pretty good story.
Oh no, nothing wrong with those. I'm referring to 3. I was thinking of 3 and I was thinking of Dragon Age 2. So I was like, wait, no.
Oh, absolutely. But they did pick up the slack in Dragon Age 3, even if the gameplay was a bit iffy in terms of how they handled that.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was a nice blend You know, it felt a bit more like Origins, but trying to modernize it. It wasn't perfect, but like I appreciated the return to the strategic elements that were missing in 2. You know, it wasn't as good as Origins, no, but it was like we're gonna make this a strategy game again. And I'm like, thank you, because that was my big issue with 2, is that it was an action game, but not even a good action game. It was just like, you know, just hit stuff really hard, click a lot. It's like I don't like I'm clicking. Like, why am I clicking more than once for this? Why can't I just click and then just let things happen? Well, you got to keep clicking. Why though? Can I just make this like on the console and use the controller? At least it feels better. No, it's literally not even an option. You can't do it. And
I wonder if Dragon Age 2 has a gameplay overhaul mod.
I checked when I was reviewing it. I'm like, I gotta see if there's a way to fix this. The answer is complicated. And no, not really.
Dang it. Well, here's a mod called Better Combat DA2.
There were some improvements, but it wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah, what you're looking for is a lot more akin to basically adding auto attacks and better uses of skills.
Yeah, and like if if the game was going to be like that, it should have just had the console controller support, because it played okay on console. Also, you having fun down there?
No, the stink is awful.
Oh, cool. I'm sorry.
And she's just letting, because she's not using her rockets. She's not really getting lame. I don't know how she has no mana, considering she doesn't use her rockets ever. Her positioning is awful.
Well, I'm 2-0. I only promise to try. Because you know how this is gonna roll.
To be fair, it's Varus. He's not exactly the hyperest of hyper carries.
No, but we got a Tryndamere in top lane. And he's... Well, to be fair, he's one... Tryndamere's 1-0-1, but Aatrox is out-farming him, so it may not be that bad. And our Yi isn't perfect, but he's still doing his best. He's trying pretty hard. I just think there's no saving our Jinx, honestly, at this point.
Really rough out here.
But yeah, it's just something where I don't really understand why. Like why couldn't they adapt? Why couldn't they adapt something like Jedi Fallen Order into a movie? That would fit perfectly into a film.
A lot of people have said that, like, why not adapt one of the games? You know, like KOTOR. Everyone loved KOTOR's story. Yeah. Just make a movie about KOTOR, like. The problem is that Disney, you know, the producers involved wanted to do their own thing and wanted to. They completely obliterated the extended universe. Which to me was a really bad call, because a lot of people like the extended universe.
Yeah, because it's good.
And like, and my argument there is like, I get you want to write your own story, but also people actually like some of these decisions, and the plots are already written for you. It prints money, okay? Like, you literally have to do minimal work here.
Also, Disney, I don't know how to break it to you, and by that I mean I'm totally gonna burst your bubble, because I love bursting bubbles like this. Wonderful. Y'all realize you don't have to decanonize everything to write something new, right?
Yeah, that really made a lot of people mad. They were just like, yeah, none of this actually is canon anymore. Why? Because we said so. But
well,
this has been
congratulations, Disney, you're wrong.
It's been an established element of the lore for years, though. Yeah, we know. And you're just obliterate. Yes. Like, how do you even do that? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you definitely can't. That's not a thing that happens. You don't tell. Like, I'm sorry. At this point, death of the author. They're not allowed to write Star Wars anymore.
I love the concept of death of the author.
It's like
my sister about it. She thought it was like weird.
It would be like if, let's take Star Trek. If CBS, they've been less than stellar with their Star Trek delivery. They have.
Yep.
But it would be like if they said, okay, so the extended stuff, no longer canon. Which would cause.
I'm so sorry. Pantheon is right there.
Which would cause pretty much every fan under the sun to seethe with fury.
Yep.
It's not something you just do. And, to CBS's credit, they've left canon pretty much everything, even the bad stuff. Even the stuff that wasn't great, they were like, no, we're going to leave it alone. And that was a good call. Because, that's still established stuff in the canon of the series. And I'm angry because my ult didn't go off, and if it had, Shaco would be dead now. But okay.
That'll. But yeah, so...
Why need a Jinx who's randomly in jungle when I could just have a Yi instead?
I told you, he's actually doing stuff. But yeah, and actually CBS apparently finally struck gold because they made a Brave New Worlds, which is the latest Star Wars series. And Brave New Worlds, it takes place before the original series when Captain Pike was still in command of the Enterprise. But it pretty much plays itself off like an episode of the classic series, where each episode is a new story with a new planet. It's what Star Trek is about, as opposed to Discovery being a complete sweeping branching narrative, or Picard being the same way. Which I think was what everyone's, missing. We want new or interesting stories every episode. And Brave New Worlds does that. And I'm like, thank frickin' God you finally did something right. People have been pretty positive towards Brave New Worlds, which is making me happy.
That's good.
Much better than Lower Decks, which made me do nothing but cry.
The thing for me with Star Wars that's really frustrating in terms of that kind of canonizing.
I would have had him, but I didn't realize I didn't have Flash. Go ahead, Kane, sorry. Decanonizing Star Wars.
Oh no, that's even funnier. Okay, so Star Wars Visions. I have not watched it yet, but all I can think of is that was that 22 episode series that was they hired a bunch of different animators and companies to make their own little Star Wars short in the universe. And it's just really interesting to see where they go in order to get that kind of inspiration. And I'm pretty sure some of those stories dug into extended lore that is no longer canon.
I'm sure it did.
And I'm just like, hey Disney, did you know they're doing the extended universe that you don't like?
Josh, I want you to know this Jinx doesn't actually know how to last hit.
Are you shocked?
They're legitimately right-clicking on an enemy until the enemy dies. Jinx, you're so fucking lucky I'm good at fucking Soraka. Jesus Christ.
And here I am streaming on YouTube.
I'm sorry.
I don't think you are, but it's okay.
I am. It's just cursing is built into my brain, and it's very hard to unbuild it. I genuinely apologize. I literally just did the most clutch save on Jinx in my life, though.
That just means you're awesome.
I almost had him, but I didn't have ult up. I'm sad now. Cry.
Why did Jinx go back after?
I honestly feel like that them decanonizing the extended universe, I can't imagine it lasting very long.
I mean, it's been half a decade since they announced that.
Holy shit!
I think it was one of the first
ago?
things they did was announce that the extended universe was no longer canon.
I thought that was way more recent than it was. Completely ignore me. I'm so out of the loop with Star Wars.
No, that was a pretty early thing. Pretty early thing.
Enemy Vars 118 CS. Our Jinx has 50. I can't make this up.
Don't worry. If you just gotta support harder. I believe in you.
I have abandoned Jinx. I'm just coming to help you instead.
That's fair.
One of the biggest backlashes outside of the sequel trilogy was decanonizing everything.
Oh god.
Had Disney not touched that, I don't think people would be as mad at the sequel trilogy.
I mean, that was definitely part of the anger.
Yeah.
It wasn't the only thing, but it was definitely part of it.
Yeah. It was like the anger toward Federation Force. It was really only because the only other Metroid game at that point was Other M.
Yeah.
It was very mixed.
Yeah.
Federation Force is not that bad of a game. It
Give me a
just
second.
came out at a really bad time.
What's up? Yeah?
I still think a multiplayer
He's
Metroid
still up?
Prime game would be really fun.
He'll pass himself out. It's fine. Are you really lecturing me about this? Okay. Anyway, sorry, go on.
I still think a proper multiplayer Metroid Prime game would be really fun.
They did. It's called Hunters.
Okay, let me rephrase. A multiplayer cooperative story mode Metroid Prime game would be really cool. Also, it wasn't just Hunters; it was also Metroid Prime 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot Metroid Prime 2.
Why is Jinx lolling as if Jinx wasn't the one that fed this?
No, you don't understand. This isn't Jinx's fault. It's this.
This
It's
is
the-
my fault.
Yes, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it personally. I'm like, she's gonna blame Addie for this. I know she is. She'd be like, oh, if I had a better support. Some such nonsense.
If when I would make a better Jinx player on my first time, yeah. But yeah, honestly, for me with Star Wars, I just hope we get some more original stories going on. I don't really know what you would call them, though. I think that's the issue, though, when you think about it, because if you want to make another trilogy, what do you call it?
Star Wars Episode 10. The new trilogy.
Good job. Oh my gosh. I don't know how you guys survived that, to be honest with you.
Very, very, very carefully.
Also, I don't know why I can't heal you that fast.
Have you
I'm healing
considered
everybody
getting?
else, but I'm trying to heal you.
Have you
and
considered
it's
getting
like-
better at the game?
No, I'm saying like my healing numbers. Like I heal Aatrox and it heals really fast, and I heal you and it heals you for like 1 millimeter of your health. And maybe you were getting burned. Maybe you had burn on you.
I mean, I know that's part of it because of how Cause has Leandries.
Yeah, that makes sense. Going to
Dang,
stand
he
to
just
try
absorbed
to save
that
his
damage.
life.
Can we talk about as a side note? Can we talk about as a side note how confusing trilogy numbers will get when you get past number 9?
I mean,
Star
Ruby
Wars
was like,
X!
Ruby was like, all of the volumes accumulate into one season, and we're on volume 9, so like I don't really know what they're doing either. So.
Well, that's not the problem, because here's the problem. The first trilogy is 1, 2, 3. The second trilogy is 4, 5, 6. The third trilogy is 7, 8, 9. Okay, makes sense so far, right?
Yeah.
Then
10,
you
11,
got
12.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And now you got 19, 20, 21, 21, 22, 23.
Okay, that's just the 3 times tables. I'm pretty sure most people could do the 3 times tables and figure that out.
I'm not necessarily saying that it's confusing in terms of counting numbers. I'm just saying that, like, when you have trilogy movies, and now you're on, like, it's weird seeing a trilogy number not be in an even number, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm
Star Wars Episode 0.
A Callabeth.
What? Okay.
I don't know what he was. He knows he's not that fat, right?
Any high fives for my super clever reference?
No.
Aww. But I thought it was really clever.
2100 weaknesses scattered.
I have a Callabeth.
Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god!
I think I have a Callabeth Ultima 4 in both the Ultima Underworld games.
You have both the Ultima Underworld games? It's so weird for you.
They were really cheap on sale for like $3 for both of them on GOG.
That's fair.
Yeah. And I'm like, why yes, I would love to own these.
I think I have Ultima 4, I want to say. I know I got one of them off of GOG.
I know Ultima 4 was free for the longest time. It might
That's what it is. That's how I got it. It was free, and I was like, oh, well, I heard Ultima 4 is great. So,
Yep.
I haven't actually played it, but I heard it was great.
I actually want to play Ultima 9.
You know what? To be honest, I kind of do too, out of morbid curiosity.
It would make a great stream just for the fun of it. If you ever get that game, I would love to watch a stream of that just like for the fun of it. Like not even to poke fun at it, not even to like yell at it, just to legitimately play it and see what happens.
Well, I can't really say that was worth it, but I mean,
It could have been worse.
it definitely could have been worse.
Tryndamere being Tryndamere up here. Go away. Be gone before I scatter your weakness. I'm doing my best, Addy, but this is not a good situation.
Oh, I'm perfectly aware. It's really rough.
Oh, right.
I mean, if we
right.
could defend long enough, I should be able to melt them easily, but right now, it's iffy.
I was hoping that we could rely on Jinx for the late game, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Oh, you're so optimistic.
Oh, don't jinx it, guys. Come on.
Shut up, Kane, not now!
Also, here's my hot take. Here's my absolute ridiculously, horrendously bad hot take for Star Wars. Jar Jar Binks is not nearly as annoying as everyone makes him out to be.
Who?
Jar Jar Binks.
No, I agree.
I think that, like, the sheer amount of vitriol was ridiculous. And I'm just like, wow. Wow, I don't think you guys know what
What's
the
that?
definition of annoying is. Because he really wasn't that bad.
Nobody? That's annoying.
What's up?
Everyone's copying my girlfriend's look in Among Us, and she's frustrated.
Ah.
That is annoying. I hate to do that.
They stole her outfit.
They stole my name too.
They stole your name. That's rude. God.
Yeah, like, I watched episode 1, and I'm just like, Jar Jar's not that annoying.
I'm truly out of my depth.
Oh,
here
this is
because
bad.
I actually
This is
don't
bad.
know anything about Star Wars.
Oh, please tell me that'll kill him. I am pleading with you, game. No, not enough. Got it. Disappointing.
That's okay. I do feel bad about that because I know that you're not really a Star Wars person, Addy. But I never like excluding people from.
Oh, you're
conversation.
fine. I don't feel excluded.
Is that about a war on a star?
About things that I just have literally no idea what you're talking about.
How do you fight a war on a giant nuclear reactor?
Nuclear reactor? Final Fantasy VII? I'm joking.
That's a Mako reactor.
Mako, nuclear, same thing.
No, it's not. It's completely. It's not even remotely the same thing.
Hey Josh. Does it make no difference?
Yes. For one thing, the Mako reactors were clearly an allegory for our overdependence on fossil fuels and the corporate superstructure keeping them in place while at the same time killing the planet for profit.
Josh, but let me raise you something with that. No, let me raise you something that's very important.
Today.
You see, Final Fantasy VII tackles really important themes such as greed and its environmental impacts when people are too greedy to care about the planet. Introducing, to promote this, the Final Fantasy VII NFT collection.
Click the donation link in the description if you would like a Final Fantasy VII NFT.
Oh, it exists already.
I'm sure it does.
If you try to buy like a Cloud figure, they make you it's bundled required with the NFT.
God.
That's disgusting.
And they upcharge because it's an NFT in there, so it costs more to get it.
Oh my god. So
Yeah, Josh, at this point, hasta luego.
You know what? I kind of defended NFTs for a little bit, just in terms of concept, but like, I'm just kind of hoping that they go away now, because like,
I just don't think that manufactured digital scarcity is like a sustainable business model.
It's not!
I think the problem is that like right now it's a system that is being only abused right now. I think that the idea could work for certain things, and that's
Well,
fine.
like what? Like what could? The only thing I could think of is for NFTs to work is something like ticket reselling for like going to concerts or whatever. But that is like the only concept. Even then, that is still pretty easily abusable.
Yeah, but in general, like I think any system can be used and abused. Like, and I don't think you should judge an entire system based on that. The problem that I generally take with NFTs is just because, like, not only do I not think that they're just not fleshed out enough to be useful, so many people don't even understand what they are, and because they're so poorly explained and understood by anyone who uses them. So it's like, until you get your system properly explained so that people are actually on the same page, I don't think that your system should be used this widely.
Hot take: 90% of NFTs are trying to fix a problem that was never broken. Like find a solution to something that was never broken in the first place. People have said, like, imagine a world where you can have your medical records on the blockchain, always accessible to you.
That sounds like a
And
terrible idea!
I'm like, have you considered printing out your medical record and making it a PDF?
Blockchain as a concept was always something that people just kind of decided was a valued thing without it actually being the case. Like, it's only that stuff is only valuable because we say it. Because we say it is. It's not intrinsically worth anything if you really think about it.
Fun fact: a guy bought an NFT and was working on producing a show about of like his Bored Ape.
Yeah, I heard about
he
that.
He got compromised. His Bored Ape got stolen, and because he no longer owns the Bored Ape, he can no longer make it.
I think that the technology for the blockchain could be used very effectively, but again, it's such a non well explained concept that, like, look, I'm all down for new technology and new ways to do everything. I think it's really interesting and cool to get all this kind of tech. It's very cool. But
Tech is great, but the problem is it should have a purpose, and I don't see NFTs having any genuine purpose that actually adds value.
I genuinely agree.
Addy, I can only throw spells so fast, okay?
I want you to understand how hard I tried this. This is my promo to silver. I was really, you know...
I tried, okay, I could... What am I supposed to do about this? Jinx is worthless. Like, it was... Honestly, at the end there, it was me, and you protecting me, and nothing else.
Yeah.
Yi and H.R. just ran in and died. Jinx was like, pew pew pew, why can't I kill anything? This isn't fair, I'm getting rejected. Why am I only level 11? It could have nothing to do with your inability to last hit early game. And I'm just like, I can only throw balls so quickly.
Yes.
It's just one of those things. Okay, I will continue to do this, but they're starting to have a lot of HP.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, Addy, like the tech has to have a purpose, and it's hard to find that purpose when like everyone is using it for like a million different things and none of them are like properly explained.
Blockchains will allow you to have resources and books. Imagine a world where writers and creators can share their art with everybody with a digital system of NFTs that you can share with other people. And I'm like, you invented the library. You could just go to a library.
Hold on, guys. Let me just share this JPEG real quick. Wait. Like it's.
I understand. I understand the memes, but blockchain is not NFT. Like, it's a different technology entirely.
Oh, I'm talking specifically about NFTs.
Yeah.
And how dumb they are.
I agree.
I think the reason why I brought up blockchain having some type of potential is specifically, damn it, it's specifically because of the idea of like tickets, like ticket reselling and ticket gouging is a really, really big problem right now. So yeah, blockchain actually could be a reasonable stopgate to that. Even once you iron up the kinks, because there's a lot of issues and ways that people can circumvent even blockchain. Blockchain is not infallible. Blockchain is not impenetrable. Blockchain is not perfect.
I consider blockchain, NFTs, whatever, in the same category as cryptocurrency. It's something that is people have decided, for whatever reason, is valuable.
Well, blockchain is just a technology. NFTs and cryptos are just how the technology is implemented.
I know,
yeah.
But it's so like. I don't want to invest in it. Like, people are like, well, now you're taking your money away from the government and putting it into this, and this will keep its value. No, actually, it's way more unstable is what it is.
Yeah.
Consider the crypto crash happening right now? Yeah, don't do that. Don't
like, it's a terrible idea. It's not, like, you have to, well, you could depend on people that aren't the government. Like, people? I have to depend on people? Have you met people?
Crypto companies are legitimately laying off like 20% of their workforce right now.
I agree with you, Josh, that NFTs are the same way, but I don't think it's fair to put blockchain in that same kind of thing. The issue...
I'll be honest with you, Kane. I've heard blockchain repeatedly explained to me.
Yes.
I must assure you at this time, I have no frickin' idea what blockchain is.
Either do I. Don't worry about it.
See, how can you defend it if you don't know what it is, Kane?
Because it's
blockchain,
not cryptocurrency.
Blockchain is a type of technology that essentially works on a...
It's like a networking interface.
It's a networking interface, and not only that, but it allows essentially all of your transactions, all your actions are on a publicly identifiable ID, on a publicly identifiable wallet. And the idea with it is that one person has one wallet, and then you can tell what other people have and all that kind of stuff.
Why would I ever... I'm sorry. The way you just put that, I thought, and follow me on this, I thought we were against people knowing our business.
Well, because crypto wallets are not designated by name, it's strings of numbers. So unless you tell somebody what your crypto wallet is, it's just gonna be numbers. Nobody's gonna know whose it is.
Okay, what's the point of... What's the point?
The point of it is outward transparency, so you know, like... It's the only reason why people find out about a lot of these crypto scams is because the blockchain is public, and they can track where these investors and where these people who are running blockchain-like companies are sending their money.
Okay, I see the advantages there.
The other thing
And it's deregulated, so it's not... Well, I say deregulated in quotes because the FDA and, like, the government have been cracking down and actually, like, arresting people for fraud on crypto. So, like, it's not as deregulated as people think it is. But that's one of the selling points, is, like, the government doesn't touch your money. Yes, they do.
Hey, I'm sorry, Addie. Welcome to our team, straight out of 2010.
No, Jesus.
And the other thing too is that the blockchain is not specifically for money. Like it's just like a network interface that you can use for different things. There are social media networks that run on the blockchain. Like it's not just like for cryptocurrency sharing or anything like that.
The problem with that is that while it's not necessarily intrinsically created for the purposes of money and crypto exchange, it would be very silly to say that that is not what 90% of people use it for.
I understand that, but my point being is that it is more of a network interface in general, as far as I understand it, instead of just being about money or being for like a scam or whatever. It's just a technology that can be utilized in a different way. It's not...
Technology created to be deregulated specifically in finance, though. That was like the create... Like,
hey, Addie, look at our enemy team straight out of 2010. What is this?
I don't know. Like, it was created with that kind of in mind. I do agree with you that it is not just scams. I argue that it's maturity scams. But, you know, there's like, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. Like,
that fills me with approximately zero confidence.
I assure you, you should have no confidence in it. At least right now. Like, there's no reason to have confidence in that product.
The other thing that bothers me about the whole idea with blockchain, cryptocurrency, all of this stuff in general, especially with the blockchain in general, is that people use it as a buzzword, and it is overhyped as, this is the future. You desperately must invest. It's not even done yet. Shut up.
It's the future.
Do you know how ridiculous it is that a lot of like mod friends in like the mod communities can make like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars being hired to set up NFT Discord servers? It's ridiculous. These people are like, they have so much money, they're clearly successful, and I'm like, you are a sucker and an idiot. They use a lot of money to get everything to look professional so that you invest millions of dollars into their crypto, and then they walk their way to the bank with your money.
Yeah, that's where do you think they got it? Like, yeah, they're successful at tricking you.
It's
like the 20... How do you even explain it?
Yeah, like...
It's like the 2022 version of, like, if you download my course, you will learn how to get babes and be an alpha male gamer.
Hold on, I'll go even further back. Hey, I'm selling the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah. No. Even better. You can own a star.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that better. God, I remember that.
My point though, and I hope I've kind of made it, is that I just don't agree with linking the technology of blockchain just under the same thing as crypto, because I don't think it's the same thing.
Like any technology it can be used as a force for good, I'm sure. But right now, that is not what's happening.
I agree, absolutely. But I'm under the impression that you've essentially called it a scam, right?
Well, we've simply said it's being utilized mainly for scams, yes. But not that
I agree that it is.
it in itself isn't necessarily intrinsically meant to be a scam. No, I would not go as far as to suggest that.
The problem is when you make deregulated technology that specifically has no government oversight and then tell everybody to behave. Do you really think anybody is going to behave?
This is the
It's
problem.
like making an anarchy Minecraft server and being like,
Anarchy!
okay, guys,
Anarchy! Anarchy!
like, it's just not gonna work.
I think I got my point across at least a little bit, and I appreciate being able to have. I appreciate being understood that I'm not defending the scam-worthy stuff happening on blockchain. Just that I don't think.
Tech itself has potential once it becomes heavily regulated by the government already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
calling
it's-
for government regulation? Disgusting.
I know, it's very,
I'm just happy to be understood. Okay, it was a very frustrating conversation.
I believe in regulation in the sense of that there should be laws to protect people from being taken advantage of.
Yes.
I don't want the government to completely control it, though.
Yes.
well, no, I mean regulated in terms of, like, you know, making sure that people are abiding by basic laws and principles. so
That
people
itself
aren't
is
losing
fine.
Millions of dollars because we're going to the moon. Make sure you guys hodl. You guys remember to hodl. No matter how much money we steal, we promise to hodl.
The heck is HODL?
Totally.
Hold on. It's a crypto term called "hold on for dear life." Essentially, it means no matter how far the cryptocurrency dips, you're gonna hold on for the spike.
Yep.
AKA, it's a dog whistle so that a bunch of people get suckered into holding onto their money while.
Well, it
people
slowly
stay
becomes
and make
worthless? Yeah, I
money.
get that.
Yeah.
You know, in the stock market, we call that a sell time.
I know way too much about crypto
actually,
stuff
Josh,
because
did you
I
follow
watch
Josh?
like YouTubers that go over all this crypto stuff and break it down in like easy to digest detail. Specifically, they go over all the scams and bankruptcies that happen in the crypto scene. It's very fun. CoffeeZilla is a very entertaining guy.
Actually, Josh, now that you've brought it up, what's really the difference between cryptocurrency and trading on the stock market?
Well, there are laws to protect people from getting scammed by companies, and the stock market also requires that you are a company producing a product and be officially licensed as a company in order to trade on there in the first place. So, I believe that itself would be a pretty major difference, yes.
Oh, absolutely. I was messing with it too.
Oh, there's a bunch of like cryptos that try to pass like crypto exchange companies that are trying to pass themselves off as essentially banks. And people have lost like millions of dollars to it recently. It's actually really fucking sad.
They're not a bank, though. A
They're
bank,
not.
a bank holds on to your money. That's the job of a bank.
They go, we're holding on to your money, we promise, as they send hundreds of thousands of dollars outside of their wallets into a throwaway wallet. Because yes, you can have more than one wallet.
I mean, a bank a bank will give out loans to make their own profit off of interest, but
No, they'll just sell your money and like hope that they make it back. There's these things called I don't know what the exact term is, but they essentially will like hold a partial amount of your money, right? Into like this separate hold account on the crypto. So basically, it's supposed to be like, out of every time you send us this amount of money, we save this percentage of it. So if anything were to happen, we have like a bucket list of bucket amount of money that we can pay people back. Right? And a lot of the times, these secure wallets that they say are secure, they cannot be opened, blah 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 blah, are absolutely open, and absolutely all the money is gone. Surprise! Would you have guessed?
Jack, you're supposed to be in bed. Get out of here! What the heck? He just walked in, wants me to charge his Switch. I thought he was asleep. I know you told me. You really thought he'd fall asleep.
It happens.
Sorry, I remember like too much about crypto because I just find it fascinating.
No,
the
it's
amount
fine.
of,
It's a
like,
very
scamming
interesting
that's-
topic. I don't mind.
The amount of scams that just happen, and like, I feel bad, right? Because like, I consider myself relatively technologically literate. I know a lot of people who are not. And if I had not told them the amount of like bad idea it was, I know a lot of people who would have invested probably like their life savings in the crypto. Because people tell them, oh yeah, it's like the stock market, but you make way more money back in returns. And it's like, that's just like really not how it works. Like, I don't know how to emphasize how much that is really not how that works.
Yeah. That's ridiculous amounts of wrong.
It's
I
like-
mean, okay. Is there potential? Yeah. In terms of the instability of crypto.
You know, there's potential that you could walk outside and get hit by a car too.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Like,
legit.
but generally speaking, historically, if we look at how crypto has gone, people usually lose. 9 times out of 10, I'd say. And even when they have a chance to win, there's psychological fallacies that are like, well, it's like gambling. Well, how high can I go? This high. You should probably get rid of it now. Oh, you're not going to do that. Oh, good. Well, now you don't have any money because it just crashed.
There's a really good John Oliver video from many years ago where he talks about fantasy football, like the fantasy football apps or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How it's basically a rigged game for the top 1% to win. It's a really good video. Definitely check it out. But I love it because it's honestly pretty accurate even for this topic. So. Yeah, I think it's cool.
I mean, like,
I mean, there was that. Speaking of, there was that YouTuber who made his own cryptocurrency, and then
Which one?
I forget his name, but he basically wound up taking all the money out of it and keeping it for himself.
Wow.
Which one?
Right? I know.
There's Dink Doink with Logan Paul.
Not
I know that one.
not that one.
There was what is his name? Sam Pepper was involved in one with NFT specifically.
Nope. This was crypto.
Was it? Oh wait, it might be what's his name? Ice Poseidon. He did that.
I think that was him. I think that's the one I know
Ice
about.
Poseidon did that. And
Yeah.
he was just like, well, I didn't scam people because I didn't tell them to put their money in. If they lose their money, then that's the risk of fate. So
That's what he said. Yeah, I saw the video where someone interviewed him about it. It was like, dude, you took this money. He's like, well, it was gonna fail anyway, so I just took it out. So you're not gonna give it back? Well, no, it's their fault.
Fun fact: the Bored Apes collection is it's the most magnificent piece of right-wing dog whistling rhetoric I've
Watch
seen
out.
in my life.
Is it?
There's so much anti-Semitic stuff hidden in each NFT. It's absolutely bonkers. It's essentially the people who created it seeing how far they could go, and like nobody has picked up on it until now.
That's pretty rough.
This is what happens when you put 4chan people in charge of making a fake stock.
Right?
Like, yeah, there's nothing I could do there. We got collapsed in on by.
Yeah, there wasn't much either of us could do.
But yeah, I will post the video. It's like an hour-long video, so obviously watch it on your free time. But I have never in my life, like, I didn't even know about any of this. In my defense, I also thought Bored Apes were really dumb, and I didn't even think twice about them before writing them off as like the worst idea I've ever seen.
Yep.
But like, it's fascinating what kind of crazy stuff people are hiding in these things. Like, they have no idea what they're like. People have no idea what they're supporting. Celebrities bought into it. Like, it's nuts. Also, I love how USDT, I think it's called, which was like a get this, it is a crypto stablecoin. Essentially, the point of it was to try it was supposed to be a stable version of crypto that was easily transferable into fiat currency, aka like USD.
Yeah.
And I actually knew a guy who like he's this crypto bro who's like really annoying and tries to get people to like invest in his projects and stuff.
Well,
And
yeah, that's what they do.
And he has a history of like shilling products and just being generally a very unpleasant guy. He said that he was planning on paying people in this stablecoin cryptocurrency, praising how one of the main benefits of it is employer privacy, right? Like, an employee never has to disclose who they are to their employer or their personal information. Which, first of all, taxes.
Yeah, right? Like,
But disregarding of that, they
the IRS wants to know your location. Oh wait, they already have it.
Yeah, they can only pay in the stable coin because it also allows you to transfer over easily into fiat currency, while also maintaining. Oh, okay. Maintaining its weight in crypto. And I just want you to know that 2 months later, USDT is a crashed currency that is actually worthless now.
No, all you have to do is...
No, it's a stable coin.
Yeah, right. It's okay. It's fine. Oh, wait, no, until it's not. And then where's the money go after that, Addy? You tell me, when a cryptocurrency crashes, where did the money that people put into it actually go?
If crypto crashes in a forest without anybody to hear it, where does the money go?
No, but it's a legitimate question, because when you invest in the stock market and the stock crashes, that means the company in the process of trying to manufacture whatever product or service they're working on has started to fail or flounder. That is what that means. But when a Bitcoin, any kind of crypto, when that crashes, where does that money go?
Into the wallets of the creators.
What a surprise!
And very commonly, they'll even screw over their own employees at the end of the day, and if the employees will randomly just not get paid or laid off, and it'll be like, yeah, they just ran off a lot of money. And it's again, wow, I'm so surprised. What? No way. What?
Victor's missing again. Be careful down there.
Aye, Captain.
There he is!
Okay.
You're pretty host.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just trying to get an extra Q off before I fell back. That all happened so fast.
Okay, MF, I'll help you out. Since they don't know I'm here. Hey, guys.
Uh-oh.
You know, MF, when I went in, I really expected more from you.
Yeah, my MF is very timid, very shy girl, very ooh shy face.
All she had to do was shoot the Kate in the face. It really wasn't that hard, actually.
Shooting her to probably much.
I snared her. She wasn't going anywhere.
All I beg for you to do is all you had to do was ult to get them off turret. That's all you had to do.
On the plus side, Armando has just stomped in top lane, so there's that.
Oh, nice. I didn't even notice that. Get your crap out of my bush, Lux. We were doing great, but then MF just stopped helping me engage. And I don't really know why. Because we were we out-damaged them.
I still don't know where Victor is. Off doing cyborg things, I imagine. Oh, hey guys!
Oh, I tried to heal you. I'm so sorry. I was last minute. Fuck.
That's what I get for face checking.
I went to go try to heal you, but it was very last minute, and like right as I got in range, you died, and I was very sad. Okay. Okay. MF, would you please help me?
Unrelated.
She just... Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. That was the biggest... that was like the most blatant... Just abandoned ship. She was just like, I'm out. Mundo's out there inhibitor, though.
Hey, Josh, would you like a support?
I would adore a support, as Victor has been pretty, actually, good in this game, and I'm like, oh, you actually know how to play that character, okay.
Cool.
Color me surprised.
I'm just gonna come and hang out with you. Don't mind me. Oh, I'm so sorry. MF is taking on your farm.
For one, I'm utterly shocked by this revelation. Shyvana,
Just
where are you going?
just because the game types are really similar. Just mentioning. God, I still love Pangolier from Dota 2. His voice lines make me laugh. That is
I
all.
still have barely played any of Dota 2. No.
Understandable.
I feel
If it
like when you
helps, I
play a lot of League or a lot of Dota, it's hard to like justify moving over to the other one.
Yeah, I tried to play Dota. I just don't like it. It's just not that much fun for me.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't like either, really. I feel like I ironically ended up doing better in Dota in a weird way. But that's also a really low bar, so yeah.
Josh, that was very scary.
I know it was.
He almost died. And I was like, no, please. Nothing makes me cackle more than seeing everybody's ward score and then mine is just ridiculously above for no justifiable good reason. It's just you will see light. Oh my god, what did the Victor say? I need to turn off the profanity filter. Why do I have it on? The tea is spicy. Sorry, I'm just really.
There was nothing you could do about that. It's okay. Just run.
I had. Oh, I probably should have used ult there, but you probably would have died anyway.
Hi there. I like guitars. Hi, Train Boss. Hi, B&H World History. Hi, Sejun. Hi, Jack Carson.
Yeah, Shaco's dead. There's nothing I can do to help him there.
No, he's not.
Eh.
No, he's not. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
Run! There's a dragon! Oh no! Oh no! Addy, run! The dragon, run! Dragon, dragon, rock the dragon! Oh, the barrier! Solid. You know, you're distracting them is great because Mundo's just up there doing Mundo things.
Yeah. The barrier was a nice save.
That was
an
good.
extra, like,
That was
10
solid.
seconds.
I'm thinking
Might
on
as well
it.
take him out as well. No! Survive! No! I really wish that I was excited for any game coming out this year, really. Except for Final Fantasy
one more game
16, but I don't even think it's coming out this year, it's coming out next year. And
Good night.
16's coming out next year, and I'm excited for 4 remake, Resident Evil 4 remake, and that's coming out also next year.
You're excited for that?
Cause you know, like I really don't like the original 4. I'm like genuinely hoping that they get rid of a lot of like really weird racist stuff that they had in it. And,
Hasta luego.
The gameplay looks fun, so like I'm tentatively excited for it.
That's fair.
I have a hot take about the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Hasta luego.
I think anyone who thinks we don't need a Resident Evil 4 remake doesn't actually understand how badly that game has actually aged.
No, it's perfect, obviously.
It's like it's new enough for people to consider it okay, but it's old enough to still be enough of a problem that I completely understand why they're remaking it in their most successful engine to date.
I'm still.
Sorry, the R-rated engine is probably one of the only new customized engines for a game that like actually seems to like half function.
My whole thing with the original 4 is, hey, second analog stick control. Oh, no. They did not.
But Josh, the GameCube didn't have a second analog stick.
First of all, technically untrue.
I'm well aware.
What do you mean?
There's a reason why I don't have a lot of respect for action games in like the later 2000s that don't have second analog stick control when freaking Wind Waker was out at that point. We had the full capability to do camera control with a second stick with the GameCube. Come on, guys. We already were doing it with PlayStation 1 games, kind of.
I'm so sorry.
I got her.
Oh, you did!
But like, I'm not. Like,
Nice! I didn't notice that. I was panicking. I can't out heal her. I can't.
But yeah, I just think that there comes a point in terms of like a game's age where, yeah, at that point I think a remake is a better idea than a re-release.
I don't mind. I mean, even visually, oh my god, $10? Thank you, I like guitars. I appreciate that. I got $10.
Awesome.
Wish it would have been the direct donate league, because I don't see that money until the 20th, which doesn't help me on rent right now. But it's okay. Thank you so much, I like guitars. Still appreciate it either way. That was really nice of you. I also like guitars. I have some guitars. My guitars are over there. They need tuned.
No, I still want to learn how to play a guitar. My sister bought a guitar, but she accidentally bought like a ginormous one, and like it just does not fit in my hand. I didn't even know you could buy a guitar that giant.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to just play an instrument, because I haven't played an instrument properly since middle school when I learned how to play the flute.
The flute is pretty cool.
I'm gonna let Mundo go after that, actually. Oh.
But yeah, there are a lot of games.
Show you my guitars? I can do that right after this game. I would happily do that. Let me do that in just a second. As soon as I'm done. You'll get them? Well, don't do them. Don't do that right now. 'Cause I have to finish this game. I can't pause it, so I won't really be able to show them off or anything. But I want to do it because I can. You play the guitar? You're going to embarrass everybody involved. Yes, you are. Bear with me. This game's almost over. I think. I hope.
I think. Josh, I heavily advise you run away. I'm here. Sort of.
It's scary. It's scary.
It is.
No, scary. Scary.
MF, Mundo, you're about to get...
I mean, Mundo's probably fine. MF, I'm not so sure. Oh! Oh no!
Who's MF, by the way?
Misfortune.
Ah.
Really, you did? You had to do that to me. I fought him. I fought him in the void. I did all that damage to him, and you just come in with the Addy Steel, as one does.
And I was very scared. He told me he was gonna fight my mom. I just, I
don't think that he said that. I was watching the chat. That didn't.
Right, because if you did,
that's not a thing that was said at any point. You may bring me a guitar at this time. Thank you.
So,
I can show off my guitars as I wait for to queue for the last game. Last game of the night. Last game of the night.
on XSplit, do you have like a webcam scene set up?
I did. I don't know if it'll work well. Okay. Oh god, you had to bring me that one. I mean, this is just the one that's most out of tune. This is just a silver tone This is my silver tone electric guitar. I know. I'm looking at it. There it is. There you go. It's a good scene. This is old, very old, and it sounds like.
Do you still play it a lot? Do you still play guitar a lot?
I usually play my acoustic because I don't have really bothered to plug in my electric. Yeah, it's way out of tune. But that's one of my guitars. I'm gonna honor. Huh? Oh. I got a box.
I have one of my promo games.
Okay, this is my acoustic. This is a Rogue. It's reasonably in tune. Reasonably, somewhat, kinda, sort of, maybe.
Have you considered tuning it?
I have. I haven't had time to sit down and play lately.
The only thing that I can do musically is dance. I understand like basic music theory, and I can read music.
Of course, I'll play the match
okay.
before I can even finish.
It's actually really funny because a lot of people that I know who are like really good at playing like guitar and stuff, no idea how to read music. I can read music, no idea how to play an instrument. It's like, wow, it's really useful to know how to read all the stuff that I can't use that information at all in any way.
Hold that thought.
Josh, could you? question.
Wait, babe.
Life is too short for fear.
Answer.
Do you read music?
I don't. I just write by sound.
I was just talking about that while you were playing. I was like, it's so funny because I can read music, but I can't play an instrument. But almost every single person I know that plays an instrument doesn't know how to read music.
Not many people do.
I know how to read music. I just hate people.
I took 3 years of music.
Kitty, no.
I took 3 years of music theory. I'm pretty good at reading music.
Addy, question. Kaisa or Zaya?
Which one is the Starguardian skin?
Zaya.
Zaya.
Fair enough.
I
Listen to the Discord.
took 3 years of piano, and I was in choir from 5th grade up to 12th grade.
Yeah, if he scratches me, I'm gonna be really
such
upset.
A loser
Oh God!
in school, right?
Put him
I was
down.
such a loser in school that I instead of going to lunch every day, I would grab my lunch and then go to choir. So I had like 9 classes a day. I never actually took lunch. I went to a choir class that I just voluntarily decided to go to, even though I wasn't actually scheduled for that class. And so I was in choir, and I was in my school's band, and I was in my school's dance team, and I was in my school's drama team. And nobody liked me in any of them. That's how you know, like...
And just to be
the
clear,
world really be like that.
just to be clear, I did write that song that I just played. That was my song.
Nice.
That was not a cover of anything. That was my song.
That's actually really cool. I didn't know that.
It's called Lamia. After,
I also...
well, that Lamia you two probably are familiar with.
Yeah. I need to practice. I've been trying to teach myself how to use a DAW. Kind of hard when I don't sing very well.
I sing too. Sing.
I like singing.
Technically, I sing in all my
don't
videos. It's
consider
the first thing I
myself
do. I am your host. Start.
I love singing. I don't consider myself a very good singer. So
The only song that I feel like super confident in singing just because of how good it sounds when I sing it is Still Alive.
I don't think I have a good... The problem is, the type of music that I like is not the type of music my voice is suited for. My voice is suited for, like, very chill. Like, I feel like if I was suited for anything, I would do, like, lo-fi or something in terms of my voice. But, like, in terms of the music I listen to K-pop and rock. And that doesn't... those things don't, coincide very
And
well.
I listen to Edge. That's right. Honestly, that exact song pretty much encompasses all my. It combines industrial and metalcore and all that stuff, and I'm like, that's it. That's it.
I mean, I want you to know that you had introduced me to that song, and it became my #1 most listened to song on Spotify that year.
And you're welcome, by the way.
I mean, it's a great song. I feel like actually I will send you something and you can listen to it literally on your own time whenever. But it is a song from Final Fantasy XIV, and it is. I feel like you would vibe with it.
I don't really have a preference for what I listen to, just as long as it catches my ear. I've got a lot of weird music tastes in that regard.
I'll be honest with you. I like guitars. Let me be real with you. I am so ignorant when it comes to proper terminology that, like, I know the chords, I just don't remember what the chords are called. So to answer your question is, I'm not really sure. You probably actually know better than I do. I just know that like I said, I write everything I play by sound. So, you know, if it sounds good, that's what I go with.
Well, I like guitars. I guess you could say that the answer to that question didn't go according to plan.
Guitars, it did sound like an E minor to me, but I wasn't.
Question!
The audio wasn't very loud. So
Question
I'm
for something
not
I just noticed.
100%.
Addy, this is very serious.
Uh-huh.
Why is my support an Ash?
Ash support is a really popular thing in Korean solo queue right now.
But I hate it.
Korean solo queue.
But I hate
Literally, they're the next faker. You must accept it.
This is gonna suck. I just want you to know that, so I hope you do well.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I think you'd prefer?
You know what's a really popular boosting strat in Korea? I think like a season ago. No jungler, Yi Ash top.
Oh, a double top. We haven't seen that since 2009.
It's not really popular on like regular rank, but it's popular when boosting people. Also, I have a Nidalee mid. We really are in 2010.
Well, I'm against not 2010 at all. Aphelios begs to differ.
I love Selena's new changes. It's so beautiful. She's just so fun to play now. They fixed her. They really did.
Yes, dumpster Kled, please. I do not need fed Kled.
Somebody,
Oh, hello! Goodbye! Leaving now. There's a Kane down here. And he doesn't even have... this one...
When did Kane get into this game?
This Kane doesn't even make puns.
That means he's automatically worse. 0 out of 10.
I could do nothing about that. No, Blitzcrank. No pooling. Not allowed.
I learned quite a bit through sheet music, but I'm a visual learner, and looking at sheet music just doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. Ultimately, I understand what it's meant for, but look, I'm weird. Any of my recent learning has been through watching Synthesia videos on YouTube.
Fun fact when it comes to music sheets and listening to
I was learning keyboard for a
reading
while.
music.
I know a little bit of piano. My keyboard's underneath my bed. I haven't taken it out in a while.
Reading music is really fun for me because the way that my brain works with reading music is really weird. So I know the technical way of reading music, right? Like I could look at something and like give me a second and I could tell you like what key it is or whatever, right? Like what scale, like stuff like that. However, it doesn't, like, to me when I read it, I can just kind of know what the pitch is just by looking at it, and I can like hum to it without really actually thinking about what it actually is, like, technically. That's after being in choir for like 8 years. I could just like immediately know the melody of something without really having to process it properly.
I didn't realize you were just that good.
I am not necessarily good. I was just addicted to music for a really long time, and I still kind of am.
I was gonna say, you still are. All I hear from you.
Yeah.
Really, 90% of your discussions are either nonsense Twitter drama or K-pop. That is your life now. Lights music. I gotcha.
Listen, I grew up listening to music as the only real way that people ever understood me, alright? I'm going full edge.
I was gonna say this.
Nope.
To say no one understands me.
No, I mean, technically, I literally was mute for like the first 4 years of my life, so on a quite literal level, yes. But like, no, also my dad and I just bonded a lot over music because my dad, was a very musically inclined person. Used to be a DJ at a club kind of guy. So music is just something that I get, and it weirds me out when other people are like, I don't like music, and I'm like, how?
Oh God.
Who are you?
Who hurt them?
Yeah, like, you don't like music? Like, everyone likes something in terms of sound. I mean, like, it's just, like, what have you been listening to? Like, if you listen to the regular radio, yeah, you might not. I get that. I don't like most things in the regular radio.
Regular radio's been invaded by TikTok music. Hot take.
I like this sound.
Regular radio is
I like this sound.
the only thing you hear on regular radio is I'm gonna sound like such a hipster, but seriously, most of the bands I listen to are not played on the radio.
Oh, same. I've been listening. Kane, I'm gonna throttle you. I just want you to understand. I want you to genuinely understand how much I'm still mad at you about this.
What did he do?
I'm planning on buying tickets to a One OK Rock concert, and it's literally all your fault. Kane got me into a band that I've been quite literally addicted to the minute that he introduced me to it.
I'll send the video to you too, Josh, because it's honestly really freaking awesome. It's a really good.
It's one of my top listened to songs of Spotify this year.
I don't do concerts.
I want you to understand how good this concert is.
It doesn't matter to me. I have never understood the purpose of a concert myself, because that is a social gathering, for one, and you know how I feel about that. But following that, I just, like, you know, it's just not something that I care to spend money on. It's just, like, but I can listen to this at home. You know, like, I acknowledge that some bands play very good live. I acknowledge that certain things are cool, but, like, you know, most of the,
There's
like,
nothing...
like, don't you want to go see, like, you know, the latest, greatest, like, I don't. I don't want to do any of what you just said. Literally, that sounded terrible, is what that, like, to go out and, you know, spend a ton of money on a concert ticket to go see somebody play songs that I could play in the comfort of my own home without having to deal with anybody around me, is great. Because, like, for someone who listens to the angstiest, most emotionally distraught edge imaginable, I really don't want to have anything to do with a mosh pit, ever.
Oh,
Not gonna happen. You will never get me in there because it's like, well, we're coming together to express. Like, I don't want to be with, but I don't want to come together with it. No, that's the opposite of edge. You guys suck. How about that? Like, I don't do that. Like,
I understand your viewpoint, Josh, and I will never argue anything about that because that is totally fine. But I will tell you that there is nothing that will ever replace going to the Zelda Symphony for me live.
like, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind playing in a concert. Like, I've always had dreams. Where was a time when I was younger when I was like, I'm going to start a band. It's going to be awesome, and then that just never happened. But in terms of watching, no.
I get that.
I understand.
I get
completely.
that. I am one of those people that, like, I've been to like 3 concerts in my life, and I will never go back to not going to concerts because they are just they're an elevated experience for me than just listening. Like, one of my favorite things about music is sharing it with other people, and going to a concert where everybody is like simultaneously vibing to a song is like the best time for me.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. Teddy makes fun of people all the time, and I had to literally tell him, Teddy, I'm sorry, but you're making fun of me because I am that 1% of people that literally listen to like reaction videos to like music because I like seeing other people's opinions and takes on music.
Teddy can just no, Ted. You don't get to talk.
What was he making fun of?
He thinks that React content creators aren't real content and like people shouldn't make React content or whatever. Sorry, Teddy, I watch React videos.
Now, on one hand, I'm deeply alarmed that he might be getting this from me, because what I said was I think I think that a lot of React content, I don't understand why it's a thing, because it is boring to me. But that doesn't mean there isn't a market for it, because there obviously is. I may not get it, but that's, to me, it's inherently lazy, as it's literally...
There's bad reactors.
There's very bad reactors, but a lot of them are still very, very popular, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, that's not my thing. But my alarm bells are going off, because when did he say that to you?
Oh, it was a while ago. I'm like paraphrasing. Maybe I'm mixing it up, but I'm pretty sure he like really doesn't like React content.
I mean, I'm sure he doesn't. I'm not surprised by this. I'm just concerned that he's doing his. Well, Josh said it, therefore I am going to.
Yeah,
because he does that. He does that a lot, and we are not turning the stream into another Teddy spiel. So let's stop right now.
Yeah, no, like we're just going into React content in general. Why I like it is because I watch a lot of reactors that aren't just like, oh, like I'm a fan of like this person, I'm reacting to their things for the first time. It's like music producers reacting to like how a song was produced, or cinematographers breaking down how a scene was shot or whatever.
Like I guess my problem with, like, I like history stuff because it's factual and nobody can get. Oh, thank you so much. We'll listen to Black Sabbath and chill. Well, thank you so much for the donations. I like guitars. That was really nice of you. You did not have to do that, but that was pretty solid, man. So
my general rule of thumb with quote React channels is that if you are adding to the content with actual insight and actual information, I think your content is at least a little legitimate.
My problem is sorry, go ahead, Kane. You can go.
If you are and like, especially if it's something just popular, like okay, I watch Jacksepticeye do a lot of React stuff, quote React stuff, but he just does. It's just stuff to make him laugh and have a good time, and he's reacting stuff that's like meant to be reacted to, really short clips and things like that. Like it's harmless, goofy fun, and there's nothing really wrong with that. But the bigger issue with React content is when it's something like, in my opinion, I've never liked the Fine Brothers. I've never liked any of their React.
It's okay. No one likes the Fine Brothers anymore.
It doesn't help that it's been basically. I mean, it was pretty obvious, but like, the Fine Brothers would make people like have opinions about things that they didn't actually have. It was literally all fake.
It was super fake. It was ridiculous. It was horrible.
My issue is that oftentimes React videos devolve into commentaries, and commentaries usually involve someone with a take on it. And I got news for you, and this is very important to me. I don't give a crap about anyone else's take on anything.
Yeah.
I don't care, especially when I think what they're saying is objectively wrong, as many people are. But they'll say it, and they'll be popular because they're funny, which is fine and all. But like, when you're wrong, you're wrong. And there's a lot of people who still do commentaries that say things that I'm just like, that's the stupidest way you could have possibly put that. And I stand by it. And I don't like Moist Critical. He was the last commentator that I watched, and I watched a lot of his vids, and at first I'm like, this guy's pretty funny, and he seems like an alright dude. He does. But the longer I watch, the more I'm like, oh, I know why he's so popular, because he literally just goes with the most popular opinion towards any considerable subject, and I don't have respect for that. Because oftentimes the popular opinion isn't even necessarily the fact. I mean, I can't.
Zach got mad at me for stealing his kill, and I'm like, I want you to understand how long Talia's E takes to wind up. I hit it before you had hit them, and it hit them as the last hit. That is how long it takes for it to actually work.
See, when you said Zach, I was like, where's Zach? There's no Zach here. And I'm like, oh, you mean Zach in the game.
Yeah.
Derpity
go back
doo. But yeah, like obviously I can't, I don't want to disrespect Moist Critical because he's a very popular YouTuber, very successful, no
I
question.
like a lot of his videos. I don't watch a lot of his hot take videos in terms of like YouTube content, like where he like criticizes a YouTube video or whatever. I watch a lot of his like meme stuff, like the stupid thing that he's doing where he's giving a $20,000 bounty to whoever can beat Halo 2 in like the hardest difficulty you physically can. Which that's pretty fun to watch. Basically, it's highest difficulty with all of the helmets or whatever it is, the skulls on, except for one that makes it easier. So basically, the hardest of the hardest, everything kills you. He's paying $20,000 to whoever can stream beating it first.
I think it's called like Lasso, Legendary All Skulls On.
Something like that. Or MCC, the Moist Critical Challenge.
So to go back to music, I agree with you, Addy. I watched a video of a music producer reacting to the Chrono Cross opening theme, and it was really interesting hearing him talk about the different music techniques that could have possibly been used to create that kind of sound and stuff like that. And there's a really good video about a guy talking about why the Wii Sports music is actually a bop. And it's a really, really good, fun video analyzing just how those songs are made. Like, that kind of stuff is really cool because, again, like I said, it's content that is not just reacting, it's dissecting and analyzing. There's actually, like, quality to be taken out of the video. You get something out of it.
Yeah. I also posted a video in the chat of this guy who's he's a music producer, and he went over a lot of the he goes over a lot of Final Fantasy XIV music, and in a lot of cases he'll actually like break out his guitar and like make renditions of said songs based on his analysis of how they were produced.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Like there's a lot of really cool like quote unquote react content, which is like much more than just reacting to a video, but it's like giving like professional level analysis on how it works and breaking it down for people who might be interested in getting into topics in the future.
Yeah.
Like again, I watch one that's literally just a videographer, and all he does is he like will literally break down like a K-pop music video scene by scene, and then also tell you what effects to be used, how he would do it himself, what type of effects he would use, what programs he would use.
Yeah, like it's really interesting. It's cool seeing that kind of thing, because it's not a hot take. It's not like this. It's not this rant or anything from like 2 decades ago. It's like an actual.
I'm sorry. What you got against ranting from 2 decades ago?
The fact that it's not popular anymore.
What you trying to say about ranters from 2 decades ago, Kane? I want you to think about who you're talking to for a second here.
I mean, even you yourself have basically said, I'm good. I'm okay without that content anymore.
What you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that the content is dead. Been dead for a while.
What you trying to say?
Trying to say that rant videos and hot take stuff is pretty dead, and probably not healthy for the human condition.
Hot take video. I'm a huge fan of video essays, right? Like I like watching them a lot, especially because like I'll be at work and I'll need like background noise, so I'll throw on like a 2-hour long video documentary or whatever on YouTube, and I really like them. I think that they have an unfortunate side effect of a lot of people being very pretentious about media now, where
really
instead of enjoying a piece of media and just pointing out why you like or dislike it, people have gone into this with like a YouTuber video essay mindset of trying to be smarter than the piece that they're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is why you guys can't have nice things.
That sounds normal to me. That's just people. I mean, people have always. especially on YouTube, like the second you get, any level of following, the psychological effects of that aren't always something that people can avoid, where they assume that now, well, people listen to me, therefore I am the smart one. And it's not really how that works. You aren't smart just because you can make a YouTube video.
Yeah. Editing in itself is really not that difficult.
Also, that was really good. That was great. I think that went really well. Top tier play from all of us, really. I can't see how that could have gone better, actually. That was phenomenal. So, GG. I think we have this in the bag. High fives all around.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, obviously it's human nature where, like, people always are gonna want to be smarter. People are always gonna want to have, like, the hot take about something and, like, think that they're, like, smarter than whatever.
Here's the thing about intelligence.
Right?
The unfortunate fact about intelligence. Everyone wants to be smart.
Not everybody is.
Not everyone's smart. It's just the way it is. You can't do equity with intelligence. Like, either you're smart or you're not. It's a genetic thing. Like, even physically, we have things where it's, it's like Ron White said. Ron White put it very, very, very well. He said, even physically, there's plastic surgeons. There's things you can do to mitigate those kind of physical issues, anti-aging cream, whatever. But let me tell you something. You can't fix stupid. There's not a pill you can take. It's just the way it is. Like, that's it. If you're dumb, you're dumb. Now, naturally, there are ways to be a bit smarter. There are certain things to avoid. In terms of general. People are capable of learning. It's not to say that people aren't capable of learning, but certain people are only capable of so much. They also have to be. The other thing about intelligence is you have to be willing to learn too. And if you've already decided that you know everything when you absolutely frickin' don't, conversation's over. There's nothing we can do about that. You have simply decided that you know everything. You are wrong, but you decided that, and if you've chosen to be willfully ignorant, there's nothing we can do about this.
Yeah.
Nobody can fix that until you decide to fix yourself. Oh God, here comes Glenn.
As a famous philosopher once said, the ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
No, Misa, stay! Misa called Jar Jar Binks! Misa, your humble servant! That won't be necessary. Oh, but it is! It's demanded by the gods, it is!
I'm so happy you got that.
Addy out with the sass in this game.
He's been nothing but pinging me all game passive aggressively, man. Like, shut up.
You're doing better than I am.
You know what would help out your team really well?
Fizz.
I'll tell you what would help your team really well.
Actually, an assassin would be great on our team at the moment, if I'm being honest.
Well, just as long as it's not me, and you're good. No, so I'm reading the chat on the stream, and I love the fact that, like, the person has just immediately stopped talking.
Who?
The guy, backstabbing Addy.
Oh, yeah, well. You should be less focused on being annoying and more focused on winning the game, which we still can do.
I'm pretty good right now. Like I have a lot of my abilities. Like I can withstand a lot of hits. Like I'm like pretty fine.
Yeah, unlike the fine brothers who are not fine.
Da 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 da.
Da!
Oh well.
Could have used that Zac ult a lot sooner than it came.
It just stinks because like we can have this game if Zac just picked his battles better. But Zac is like diving in at the worst times and then backing out at the worst times, and it's like you gotta like pick a struggle.
Addy, you can't fix stupid.
I know, unfortunately. Because man, there'd be a lot of people to fix if that was the case.
Yeah, that's way too much work. Don't worry, he's gonna get the Blitzcrank. He did it. Top
What a
tier.
gamer. I don't know, like back on the topic of people just trying to be too smart. It's just I have been able to.
I like
enjoy
guitars
video
is back.
essays. I've been having a hard time enjoying video essays just because people use video essays as a reason to like be like video essays are meant to like be a deep dive into a topic and a starter of conversation. A lot of these people use it as fact, and so like anybody who's able to make a 1 hour long video with a nice mic, suddenly like everything that they say is correct. And like, oh, I know this is a thing that has happened before video essays became popular. It's just a little bit more noticeable for me now.
It's always been noticeable for me, because I don't just say I know everything. I try to make steps to make sure I'm educated before I actually say that about any particular subject. Okay? I'm not that dumb.
I just never watched that much.
And there are times when I watch things about things I know a great deal about, and I see someone who says something, and I'm like, that's wrong.
I mean, I watched content and I'll be like, this is wrong, and then I say it, and then usually I just get like a lot of drama being like, well, you don't know what you're talking about.
You think
Like,
Dio
actually, I
era
really
Sabbath is better than
do.
Aussie era Sabbath? That is a hot take. Whew. I mean, I'm not gonna judge, because old school metal really has never been my thing. I respect it, obviously, but it's never been my thing.
I've never been into the normal kind of music that most.
Oh, I know. You're just like, want to listen to this Digimon theme? Like,
Yo, can I go on that hot take? Listen, all y'all people talking about your metal bands and your country singers and love music and all that stuff, y'all hating on cartoon music, and it's really freaking good.
Can I literally? No. Can I'm in my legal defense? I literally send you covers of Butterfly all the time.
Yep, that is fair. Still don't like Butterfly.
I still don't understand how you can not like Butterfly. It's my favorite.
It is my least favorite Digimon song out of all of them.
okay, Addy, all you have to do is beat all of them by yourself. I believe in you.
But like friggin' Cartoono.
Addy, why? I believed in you!
There's nothing I can do.
But like everyone makes fun of 4Kids, but listen, they had a lot of banger openings.
Geico! Sorry.
Oh my god, did you
Okay.
see the most recent Twitter hot takes about 4Kids?
No, I didn't.
People have looped around. The world has shifted. This is how we really know that we live in 2022, because it has gone from 4Kids is a terrible company to the terrible dubs and only their music is good, to people have been like wholeheartedly defending 4Kids, saying that all the dubs were great and the only reason why there was any bad decisions was because of high-level executives forcing their hand in the dubs.
You know what
Therefore,
happens?
The dubs are actually really good.
You know what?
and
You know,
are
this
underrated
is
classics.
a topic I was discussing earlier with Kane regarding Star Wars, with what's going to happen in about 15 years. There's a big nostalgia factor. Many of those shows were complained about by big older fans of whatever thing it was. But people like, say, you, Addy, who watched Sonic X as a child, who liked the show genuinely, are now older on the internet being like, but I like that show. I like that dub. Screw you guys. And now the salty old people are like, salty and old.
I've always had this hot take, but there's this big difference that a lot of these 4Kids haters don't seem to understand.
They did also, I've always maintained, and I will die on this hill, they did an absolutely acceptable, if not phenomenal job with Pokemon. Nothing wrong with their handling of that series. Not at all. Not one little bit.
Jelly donuts.
Okay, that was a bit silly, but come on, that's so memeable. I'm fine with it.
Oh, I'm joking because people will use that literally as justification to be like, it's all bad because jelly donuts, and I'm like, is jelly donuts?
I didn't know what rice balls were as a kid. I legit thought those were some weird Japanese donuts.
Okay.
But you know, we don't have rice balls in America. That's not a thing. I mean, obviously we can make them, but it's not like a common culinary.
Yeah. It's not a common culinary delicacy here.
No, not
What
in
were you
any
gonna
way.
say? Because I actually wanted to segue this into another topic that I'm fascinated in about.
I haven't even.
Oh, God's
No, okay, that's why I said, Kane, say what you're gonna say, because I want to segue this after you are done saying what you have to say, because I know we've been cutting you off.
Thank you. Okay, so this is my hot take that's always been something that I've held true with throughout all these years. Dear 4Kids haters, there is nothing wrong with the voice actors and their performances in these dubs. That's not the problem. Stop insulting the people behind them like it's their fault that they were forced to censor and alter all of these anime just to get them on the air. That has nothing to do with the voice actors behind the scenes. The voice acting has never been the problem with these dubs. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has really good voice acting. Pokemon, Shaman King, even Winx Club and Sonic 06 had pretty decent voice acting. That was never the issue. The issue was all the changes that had to be made to make them kids shows. Which was, yes, in itself a problem, but might I also introduce the hot take that I think for a lot of us, we owe 4Kids a great deal of appreciation despite the changes that they made, that they were a lot of people's introduction into the anime scene in general. Am I saying they're perfect? No, not by any means. But can we at least appreciate 4Kids for the high quality of actual dubbing that we got for these shows that could have been very, very different and very, very bad?
You done, Kane? I don't want to interrupt you again.
Yes.
Okay, there's two factors that people don't consider. First of all, I agree with you, Kane. It's no different than with movies. Everyone always blames the actors for poor direction.
Yeah.
That's not, an actor, it only does what they're told to do generally. And
Yeah.
if they're not given time for retakes or, or bad direction in general, that's not the actor's fault. That's whoever directed them's fault. That was you specifically mentioned Sonic when they transitioned over to using the 4Kids voice actors for the games. That was a big deal because everyone hated that. And to be fair, outside of 06 is the exception in that regard, because prior to that, the voice acting in Riders and Shadow are both atrocious. But if you listen to 06 and even most of Sonic X, the actors are fine. It was the direction they were given was obviously rushed. They likely only had one take to do anything, so of course it's gonna turn out to be crap. Not because of them.
That doesn't help that basic things like audio mixing was bad.
Yeah, exactly. So, we have that to consider, but also we have to consider the notion that in many cases, 4Kids was tasked with localizing an anime that really wasn't a kid's show. I think that was One Piece's biggest problem, was that they were like, alright, we have this, we gotta make it a kid's show. It's not! One Piece is in no way a kid's show. There's too much violence, too much death, too much straight-up murder. Like, it's not a kid's show. So everyone's like, they butchered it. Like, of course they did. They were given the job of making it available on frickin' Kids WB or Cartoon Network or whatever. Of course it's not gonna... yes, of
people
course.
Also forget that dubbing was like... You had, like, I think, like, the early days of, like, Funimation. You had, like, one other dubbing studio, and then there was, like, 4Kids for, like, all anime.
Yeah,
So
yeah, studios just didn't do it.
And so people who didn't want to go to the same dubbing studio as Dragon Ball Z, guess what? They went to 4Kids. Like, that was how it was.
Yeah, it was pretty much those two options. And when those are your choices, I mean, that's what you got.
I just think in general, speaking of 4Kids, because I genuinely think that I owe 4Kids a lot of my own specific childhood too. I love 4Kids. I was heartbroken when I found out that 4Kids had gone bankrupt and weren't going to make any more shows when I was a kid, because I didn't really understand the concept of bankrupt all that well.
Yeah.
But I knew they're not making any more shows.
Yeah.
And I was very sad.
Yeah, a lot of people were celebrating at the time, like, yeah, you get what you deserve for ruining our anime.
90% of me watching TV was me watching 4Kids.
And I'm just sitting there like, Pokemon.
Like,
Anybody.
like,
Anybody remember Pokemon?
Like, I watched Winx Club, and I still think that, like, hot take, Winx Club is probably one of the better, like the 4Kids version of Winx Club is probably one of the better ways that IP has been handled, because when it went over to Nickelodeon, Nickelodeon ruined Winx Club! 4Kids actually gave it a lot of respect, even though they obviously changed things and be more child-friendly.
4Kids, generally speaking, respected what they were doing because that was their one thing. You know, their whole thing was dubbing over these shows. They had to have some level of respect for the shows. Also, when did this Kled get this strong? And why must I suffer?
But in general, I just think the more I realize about, like, localization, dub discourse in general, the more people, I think, don't really understand what localization means. Because a lot of these people are like, you should translate something one-to-one without any changes, without any modifications, because that is the way that it was intended. Localization was never meant to be a one-to-one recreation.
It's literally called localization.
When you localize something, you have to think something like certain turns of phrases, certain puns, certain, like, historical things that people might be, like, might mention in dialogue doesn't exist in other countries. So they have to try and transition and find a way to make the same feeling that the script evokes. They have to try to get that same feeling while also making it relevant to the audience that they're translating for. And 4Kids, like, it wasn't just translating something from Japanese to English, but also turning it into a kids show. They had a second layer of localization they had to do, essentially, which was, like, they had to translate everything, and then they had to kidify it. They had to kids bonkify it. And, like, that's a really hard thing to do. And to this day, I get really mad at a lot of people who disrespect dubs, because I feel like dubs, one, definitely have a place. I understand the people who... I like watching the sub more than dubs on a lot of shows, mostly because I think the voice direction is usually bad on a lot of dubs. Not that the voice actors themselves are bad. Some of my favorite voice actors are English voice actors.
Yeah.
But I just think the direction is usually not very good. And because, you know, I'm a little bit of a weeaboo, a lot of the, like, cultural references they make to Japanese media, I've watched enough anime that I understand them without having to be localized for me.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the significance between a character not using the proper honorifics in somebody in, like, a dramatic scene. Like, I get what it's supposed to signify.
I'm so glad Yorick was there to help us. It was really nice of him.
So glad. But it kind of reminds me of one. I've mentioned this before. I'm so tired. If one more person complains to me, why do you play Final Fantasy 14 in English? Because the English is bad. Because they have British accents. I'm just gonna throw somebody off a cliff. Like I really am. Second of all, people who played Neo the World's End of View and was like, wow, I can't believe that the American localization team had to add in a bunch of lines about capitalism and capitalism criticism, a bunch of woke losers, and I have to sit there and I have to be like, hey, you know who localized this into English? And they go, who? And I went, they have a localization team in Tokyo. This whole thing was translated into English by native Japanese speakers in Tokyo.
So woke.
You think that you know more about what the script meant than them?
Yeah,
Also,
exactly.
The World's End of View is absolutely like, if you are pro-capitalist, why are you playing that game? Like, just at all.
I don't play it. I'm pro-capitalist. Hi.
I'm just like, and you can be pro-capitalist and play it. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're like if you're like pro-capitalist and you hate any type of mention of capitalism and any type of criticism, then like it just really isn't the game.
I don't hate any criticism of it. It's not a perfect system. It never has been. No system is perfect. Of course, there's gonna be criticism. Of course,
it's like a throw snarkiness, but because it just translates very literally to just buy in English, it quite literally would not make sense as to what they were trying to go for her characters. So they added the later losers as a catchphrase that would give off the same snarky feeling that she had in the Japanese dub. And everybody's like, they're just dumbing things down for America. The Japanese version's the real one to play. People just don't understand localizations anymore. And you know what? If they don't understand localizations, fine. Kick them out. I'll watch all of it for them.
Yeah, it's very frustrating in that regard. Another thing that people never understand with localizations is everyone was so mad at JoJo with the stands that, hey, they're actually named after bands. Why aren't they named after bands in the dub? Because it's illegal to do so.
I don't know, man. I still think Boingo and Boingo are banger names.
Like everyone was so mad at that. I'm like, yeah, because they stole the names and used them as stand names. They can't localize that in the U.S.
they don't have the money to license that shit.
Yeah, they would have to license every single name used in that, and it's just like, this is ridiculous.
Mind you, JoJo
Honestly,
is kind of a niche market too. It's not like they had a lot of money to dub this.
At the time, especially, it's a lot more mainstream now than it was back when the stand arc came out.
I still hate JoJo.
I love JoJo, but I have to also emphasize, hot take, them changing the stand names was some of the funniest content that I think I've ever seen. Like, me and my boyfriend ended up making it a joke as we were watching it. Like, we would like guess what the original name was supposed to be, and sometimes we get it right, and sometimes we would just be wildly wrong, like wildly wrong, because it's just so different than what it was actually supposed to be.